That's by the way, we have to give our meeting hour a name, so we'll take just the name to see who win the contest for the best name for our new meeting hour. All right. Let's move on to the next item. Any public comment? Yes.
Should I come up?
Yes, that's the chair.
The hot seat.
The hot seat.
Hello, Brian Handy.
I think you might speak up a little on this.
Sure. Brian Handy here, resident over by Ventura Vineland. Big fan of the Fryman Williker Park Canyon hike. I understand that finances have changed for the park and that has led to the introduction of a $7 parking fee. I know that's not in the control of the neighborhood council, but as someone in a low income class, I just wanted to advocate for more options to visit the park, but also because I do not find that there are ADA accessible sidewalks continuously into the park at this point in time. So just advocating for that stuff. Thank you so much.
Great, thank you. Any other public comment? Right now, we have announcements by government representatives. This includes our senior lead officer. I guess that's me, huh? That is you.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Cesar Gonzalez. I am the senior lead officer assigned to Studio Cities, and Sean Smith will be retiring. He's still on the books. He's out on medical, technically on the books, but he'll be retiring and not come back. So he'll be joining his retirement from here on out. I want to give you an update on burglaries in Studio City. Last year to date, we had 479 burglaries in North Hollywood. Last year to date. This year we have 287. That's 192 less than last year to date, which is quite significant. That's a 40% decrease.
Yeah.
You look at it and go, yeah, but it's still 192. Yes, but you tell me 40% increase or decrease on anything, that's phenomenal. So that's great news. Year to date, on top of that, it's 31 people were arrested for burglaries, either commercial or residential. Commercial burglaries are typically storage facilities, like public storage, those get broken into, something stolen out of the unit, that's a commercial burglary. A window smash at a restaurant, someone goes in, takes money out of the register, takes food out, that's a commercial burglary. That is a burglary, so we take a hit on a burglary. It's not a residential. So there's quite a significant drop in that year to date, so it's fantastic. There have been a few in the area. There was one on Rice Street, the Studio City near Whitsett and Moore Park. That was a South American group that broke into the house. It was a good license plate number that we got using our latest technology. The same people were being followed by our Metropolitan Division, and they committed another burglary in, I believe, Topanga Division, and they were being watched. So as they're being watched commit the burglary, they call for a helicopter, follow them, ends up being a pursuit. They get all 4 people in custody, and all 4 are in jail right now for that burglary. So they're out of play for right now, which is fantastic. It's great police work. So that's that on a burglary. I'll touch on a few other things, and I'll open up for questions. Colfax and Ventura, underneath the bridge, next to the Pet Bridge. We've put a lot of work into that area along the wash from Colfax to Tujunga. At one point, there were 15 encampments up along the tree line. Right now, we're down to 0. Underneath the bridge, which is city property, there's 1 as of yesterday. There used to be 5 or 6. So I did get the letter from the council that was addressed to city council district, that fence installed. I did have a meeting with CD4 last week, and they were going to look into putting a fence up underneath the bridge from the Ped Bridge to the wall still keeping it open for everybody to enjoy the pin bridge back and forth. I have been working with the LA County Public Works. We're replacing the locks and the chains as fast as they cut them. So if they cut them, they get it, they're gonna do it, we'll just keep replacing. It's not out of our budget, it's county, so we don't have to worry about it. That's being taken care of. The vacant building at the old Jinkies restaurant, that entire area, most of you know, is gonna be a retirement facility.
Yes.
I've been in contact with the developer. They're putting up fences, hopefully this Friday, if not first thing next week. They did give me a trespass letter so we can arrest people who are there illegally, but I need them to install the signs first. So they're in process of getting those done right now as we speak. So it's ongoing, it's coming, they're not dragging their feet, they understand the issues, especially being next to the wash and Ventura Boulevard. So they're expediting that, so that way we can arrest people out of that property, won't have any more issues out of it. That's all the updates I have. I'll open up questions for the board, please.
Any questions from the public? Yes.
Any theories as to why the drop in burglaries?
It's a combination of multiple things. It's obviously good police work, people going to jails, the repeat offenders are in jail, they're in custody. The other one is, we believe, is all the social media and news coverage that we got out of it. It spread the word of, don't come here because you're gonna get arrested. So all that put together helped out.
What about the recovery things take, oh, sorry. Yep.
Hi, I'm Larry, a resident on Vineland. We've had an issue with the homeless for a couple of weeks now in front of our homeowner, our condominium building. What is being done to address it? Because they just seem to go a couple feet and every time it gets cleaner.
Yeah, it's actually a couple of dozen feet. They go from Aqua Vista down to the bridge, back to Aqua Vista, back to the bridge. They go back and forth. So as far as the police enforcement, we enforce whatever we can when we can. There's a misconception of what can they do on a sidewalk. So if you're homeless and you don't block the sidewalk, you can store your items on the sidewalk. That's the law. Now, if sanitation has a cleanup that day, they post it. If they don't move their items, those items get assessed by sanitation department. If they deem it to be items that cannot be salvaged because it's dirty or feces or whatever their criteria is, they will take it. So sanitation deals with the property, LAPD does with the people. If there's no violations, there's not a whole lot I can do. But if there is a violation, we enforce those. Now, the enforcement is, we have to give them a warning first, then come back with a citation, and then come back with the arrest. So if I show up and I give them a warning, and it's a handwritten note, basically what it is, and you can't do this anymore, come back, you're in violation. If they leave and I don't find them the rest of the day, how do I continue the citation process? I can't, they're gone. So that's our dilemma, is that and then they keep moving afterwards too. So they do a cleanup, they move down the sidewalk and move back and forth. So both CD2 and CD4 are doing the cleanups because the river is the border between both. And it gets a little complicated sometimes, but both of them are working on doing cleanups and fixing that as well. Yeah, so we're aware of it. We're doing what we can.
Thank you.
Hi, Justine Buzon. Was just wondering if you had an update on the burglary on Beck.
So on Beck, there's not a whole lot of follow-up because they were all wearing masks. They're all wearing long black sweaters, gloves, and we don't have a whole lot on the vehicle used. I think it was a silver four-door sedan is what we have at this point. It's still an open case, so if you have any further information, we'll follow up. But that's, as of right now, that's all that we have. It's possibly a South End gang that's doing it, just based on the movements of the people. They were young. And that's usually MO of South End gangs, is they use juveniles, because if they get caught, there's no jail time for them because they're minors. So that's what we think that is.
Better?
The people on Vineland are now at Aqua Vista, and it's a metro bus stop where they're at. Are there any ramifications for them essentially blocking people trying to get off a bus or on a bus?
No. There's no law against them being on a bus, because a bus is for.
No, I mean blocking
Yes.
where they are. They block access to get on the bus for
So.
people that want to get on.
No. Nothing exists about MTA. Now, if their stuff is in the street, then yes, we can
It,
enforce
it
that.
is in the
We
street.
can do that is you can't store your items in the street because it's for vehicles, not for pedestrians. So, and that gets a little tricky because there's only 10 feet of sidewalk, then it's all dirt.
Yeah,
Yeah, so if they're on that sidewalk portion, then yes, we can do some enforcement, especially if stuff isn't.
and they're on the street, it's like Little Vineland,
Yeah.
they're not on the street where the
Right.
bus
Vineland
actually goes.
Lanes or just, I know what you're talking about. They're
Yeah,
outside.
yeah.
Yeah, we're doing the best that we can. Again, I'm a one-man show for 2 areas, so I'm trying to keep up with all the demands.
Right. Question regarding the fencing, under the Colfax. I brought that to the attention of Studio Village HOA to try to get them to send a letter. They said that, one of the members said the police and the fire department didn't want the fence. I want to clarify that.
I don't see why we shouldn't put a fence in.
I don't either. I
I
think it's a
don't either,
great
as
idea.
long as it has a gate and a padlock that we can access with the city key and the city padlock, which already exists. I don't see why it'd be an issue.
Okay, then I want to clarify it for our
No
HOA.
problem. Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
Yes.
Hi, I live on Goodland Avenue, the west end of Studio City. And above us is a street called Fairway, the backyard of all those houses. On Saturday night and Friday night, people were exploding whatever into our backyard. A couple times the house shook. But we thought they were shooting guns in the air. I called the police. No one ever came out. They were doing this until 3 in. I don't know what to do.
Did you give their address or your address when you called them?
She asked for my address.
And that's what you provided? You know when you called?
It's been 11 o'clock.
At 11? Thank you, appreciate it.
The lady said, "Well, are you sure it's a gun?" I go, "I don't know. I heard screaming and boom, 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 boom."
Do me a
boom."
favor, write down your contact information, I'll research it.
Yeah,
Okay?
thank you.
You're welcome.
When you mentioned, typically it's where the technology, was that in plan?
Yes.
I heard on the news that other police going to discontinue because of privacy section.
I don't know if it's because of privacy, it might be a funding thing, I don't know, they haven't told us. The only information we got is that we are no longer contracted with Flood.
What I heard
Sorry,
was
are
the
you saying
MOU,
block?
Is that the block? Yeah.
Yes.
MOU wouldn't be agreed on.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
They wouldn't tell us. So if it's an MOU, then it's a contract issue. But our police cars or patrol cars are still equipped with license plate readers. That it's only to us, it's not shared with anybody else, it's only internal. And those are also attached to our body armor video camera, the same company.
Yeah. Hi, officer. The process you explained for the citation for the homeless that are trespassing on public areas seems rather convoluted. What's the origin of that policy? Is that an internal LAPD policy or did it come from the city council? I just want to know who gave the directive to make it such an arcane policy, whereas it's unenforceable. You can't do anything about the situation.
So that came from city council, the city attorney's office, as operating procedures of how to enforce that. And it's online, I can get you that's a directive, it's a policy, that's the way we have to enforce it. And when it comes to tents, so if you're blocking the entire sidewalk, for example, and I can't get through, we're allowed to enforce a 3-foot rule ADA violation. Hey, your stuff's blocking, please move it out of the way. We have to allow them to move it. If they get up and start to move it, I can still issue them a warning citation or do it verbally to document this happened. So if it happens again, then I can write the infraction. Hey, you did it again, you're told not to, you still do it. Or, for example, they refuse to do it because they say, oh, give me 15, 20 minutes and I'll do it. Okay, cool, I gotta go because I got other stuff to do. I come back an hour later, nothing was moved, then I can write the citation.
Right.
If after writing the citation, nothing happens, then I go ahead and make the arrest. So that comes from that's our policy on that. When it comes to tents, they can have a tent up during daytime hours. And that's a 5611 violation. So, but that has to be a daily warning. I can't come back the next day. So every day I have to give that warning first, to allow them to bring down the tent and do it every day, because you're allowed to have a tent up on the sidewalk as long as you don't block the 3-foot rule from 9 PM to 6 AM. They're allowed to pitch a tent. 6 AM comes around, they have to collapse it. That's the rule. And because the clock resets every single time at 9 PM, they're allowed to put it up. So the next day at 6 AM, I gotta start all over again. So if they leave, again, if they leave the encampment, the tent, I cannot warn them, I cannot cite them. And we don't deal with property, we deal with people. So the property have to be dealt with by sanitation.
Yeah, I appreciate it. If you could send me that.
Sure.
If I like, take a look at that.
Not a problem.
Thank you.
You know,
I did. I'm just wondering if you had any, update on the shooting and murder that occurred at, Ventura and Tujunga in the parking ride.
Okay, so I can't disclose a whole lot. That is still an active investigation. The suspect was located and arrested. And I can tell you that.
Good.
Again, good detective work. Talking to the people that were there, witnesses and so forth. Our homicide detectives were able to conduct a follow-up. They did a search warrant, and a person's in jail right now for that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
The burglary on Rye. Folks are in custody. What about the stuff that was taken? What happens then? Whatever was stolen. Is that? You recover all of it?
On this case, no. Nothing was recovered from Ryan. So they take it to a different house, they sell it, they get rid of it quickly as possible. Sometimes they keep it. They did serve a search warrant on a follow-up for a location, looking for property at any time.
Is that
Hit and miss. Yeah, hit and miss. Sometimes they keep a lot of stuff there where they're able to trace, oh, look, there's a very unique painting, a very unique piece of jewelry. Sometimes it's taken from other departments, other cities, Glendale, Burbank, even Orange County. So they do a lot of matching. It's a lot of legwork to find out who owns this property.
Yeah.
yeah. All right. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Good? Geez, this is great. Thank you.
Now we have our neighborhood council advocate. Vincent, are you here?
Good evening, members of the board. For the record, my name is Vincent Alcaro, and I will be delivering the comments for the Department of Labor Empowerment. So first things, your admin packet is due. It's past due now. So I spoke to the city clerk today, Ana Cardosa is your rep. We need to get that ASAP. As of right now, you're limited to office expenses and $600 a month. So if you have any questions, please reach out to Ana Cardosa. We may be able to help you with the city clerk's office. New funding training, again, every board member across the system now has to do the new funding training, which is on YouTube. It's 6 videos. They're about 11 minutes a piece, followed by a quiz. It's about 30 questions, and you need 70% to pass. You can access it at any given time and do it at your leisure. It is due by August 31st of this year. Once you do pass it, it is good for 1 year. So it'll expire on June 30th of next year, 2027. And then they will develop a new course that will be good for 2 years after that.
Say every day.
Every board member. So every board member, if you have not already taken it, please do so. I will send out an email once I get back to my seat there. I'll send it out to the entire board. All you got to do is point and click. It's on YouTube. It is not on Cornerstone. So it's kind of unique. The city clerk developed it. The reasoning behind this was in the past, board members would take funding training, and then the treasurer and the second card holder would take an additional training. What they decided to do is to incorporate everything under one course. So whether you're a regular board member or you want to be a treasurer in the future, or you're a treasurer or second card holder, the course that you're taking now on YouTube will cover you for the entire process. Okay? So again, if you have any questions, let me know. I'll send that out in the email. The neighborhood council elections are coming up. You are part of group 2, which will be May the 6th is your election day. And again, this go around, what we're gonna do is we're gonna have 6 election cycles, not 12. And you will have the option to vote by mail or vote in person. Okay, so vote in person or vote by mail. The councils are now being asked by each election administrator what would be a preference as to where you would like the in-person election to take place, and what would be an alternate place that you would like. The city clerk will cover up to about $135 for the election to be in person. The board ultimately will have to make a motion and decide where they want to have their election. They have reached out to all the board members and they sent out an email with a questionnaire. If you have not already responded to it, please do so. They do want to hear from you as to where you'd like to have the election. They're going to work with you in terms of securing a spot. Obviously, they're going to try to get the preference that you would like for the alternate, and they will work with putting everything together. So your election administrator at this point would have reached out to you. We did have a valley session for the elections last Saturday. We did not get a chance to attend that one. We have one coming up, which is a virtual one, and that will be on July 29th, Wednesday, from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. So you can do it from your home. It's 100% virtual. Highly recommend if you have any questions about the upcoming elections or you're part of the election outreach to attend that meeting. They will make Q&A. They will record it. So if you don't get a chance to attend, they will make it available. But highly recommend, especially if you have any questions. What happens is the gentleman who runs the city clerk elections, Michael Lectrick, will be on along with Maria Navarro. If you've not met her, she is with our department and she will be also working with neighborhood councils for any questions they have or any assistance they may have with logos or any kind of outreach you want to do in your community. So again, that'll be July 29th, and that'll be the email that I send. Just as a reminder, as we're heading towards the general elections come November, you may have candidates that come in here wanting to introduce themselves. They can do so during public comments, no question and answer follow-ups. If this neighborhood council wants to do a candidate forum with another council or by themselves, let us know. We'll also reach out to the city attorney to make sure that everything is in compliance, and we'll assist you with that. Other than that, if a candidate comes in, they cannot distribute literature for their campaign. They can introduce themselves with no follow-up Q&A, just like anybody else, with whatever time you allow, whether it's 2 minutes, a minute, or 3 minutes, as the chair sees fit. Legislative reports, the city council is currently on summer break recess, so we are not doing the legislative reports for July. They're expected to be back in August, and we will then continue with the legislative reports that we send out every month. We usually do it on a weekly basis, but again, with the current recess, we're not doing that. LA 28 has First Fridays. If you are interested to get involved with the First Fridays, it's virtual. You can definitely sign up for it. The LA 28 is the organization that's putting together the Olympics, putting all the fine points. They're really now getting started as FIFA has wrapped up. They're really getting the wheels turning with getting all the pieces together as we work towards the 2-year upcoming deadline come the summer of 2028. So you can get involved with First Fridays. It's virtual. Again, they will give updates as to where they're at, what they're doing. If you have any questions, you can also ask questions. And then we will have a Planning 101 brown bag session tomorrow with the City Department of Planning. For those of you that may be new to the planning, whether you sit on a committee or whether you're a new board member and you want to know a little bit more about the ins and outs of planning, you can do this brown bag session. It is only 1 hour. There's no quiz. And basically, you can do it virtually, and the city planning department will be hosting it with us. They'll be doing most of the presentation. And the last thing that I want to go over is the Joy Atkinson Award. With the Congress of Neighborhoods, the Joy Atkinson Award really highlights the neighborhood councils that have done a good job, whether it's dispersing of NPGs or community improvement projects or something maybe that a couple of board members have done, whether they're cleanups. If you want to nominate yourself and your when I say yourself is your actual neighborhood council, you may do so. If you think there's another neighborhood council out that you've seen that have done good work, you can nominate them as well. Again, in the email that I have, simply click the link, the Joy P. Atkinson Excellent Awards. We used to call them the Empower LA Awards, but this is a time for neighborhood councils to shine and show the other, councils to the Empowerment Congress, what they've done throughout the year, and that's how the award is generally given. I believe that the commissioners will look at that and can make the decision. So other than that, I'm open for questions.
Barry?
So we used the Walter Reed Middle School's auditorium lobby for in-person voting many times over the years because it had a parking lot. But the voting hours were always 4 to 8. Is it going to be the same? Because if it was like all day, I don't know if the school would let us use the parking lot. But if it's 4 to 8 again, that parking lot was great because it was right next to the auditorium.
My answer is I don't know because the election administrator, each council has an election administrator that will work. Let's just say you want to do it at Walter Reed and the board voted for that. They would look to see if that's a possibility, and if so, can they work out on the hours for the parking?
Because in the past, it's the city said you can choose where you want to be, but these are the hours. There were no options on the hours. It was 4 to 8.
Okay, so again, on the session, the virtual session, when the city clerk runs that one, that's a good question to bring up and ask them that. If you want to send me an email, I actually meet with them almost every
Okay.
2 weeks. I'll bring that up. It's the first I've heard of it, but I'll circulate back with you if you send me an email.
Because we haven't done in person for a while.
Correct. They haven't done, so they heard from us, because I heard from a lot of councils, as did the other NEAs, that a lot of folks didn't just want to do mail-in. And what they wanted was in person, so we brought that up. Obviously, they methodically looked at that over, and they said, okay, let's bring it back, and let's also do the mail-in option, so folks can choose what they want to do. And they're also working on a way so that a person only votes once and not twice. Yes.
Oh, unless there were any other public for Vincent? I just wanted to, confirm, so there's 135 for the elections that would be covered, by
The city clerk, will allocate that money for the actual location if there's a rental fee.
so any other funding needs to come from the neighborhood council, correct?
Correct. And that could be off by $10 or so, but it's not, a lot of money, but it's around that approximation.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
No questions?
Okay, thank you.
Great, thank you. All right, pizza's here, it's at the gate. Yeah.
By the time we get to the gate, it'll.
I'll go ahead and run through the president's report. First is approval of the previous board minutes. And we show of hands if you approve of the minutes. Okay, minutes approved. Next item is the vote for executive officer board positions. Procedure wise, I recommend if there are no nominees that we would vote by show of hands for each position. So I'll first open it up. Are there any nominees for either of the 5 executive board positions? They're the president, vice president, treasurer, secretary, or corresponding secretary.
You ask us to nominate someone?
Yes, if you want to.
I nominate Jerry for president.
Yes. Second. Okay, so like I said.
I can move this along.
All right, by show of hands, vote for Jerry. Okay, next one, nomination for vice president. I nominate Jeff Hardwick.
Second.
Show of hands.
Will be accepted.
Oh. Okay. Yeah? Yeah. Okay, so. All right, next is secretary.
I nominate Jay Friedman.
Second that. Show of hands.
That is a notice.
Corresponding secretary. I nominate Dimitri.
Second.
Second. Show of hands.
Will he accept?
I don't know. Got it. Nomination for treasurer. Nominate Kim and Richard seconds. Show of hands. Thank you. So that's taken care of. Right, so we wanna, before we go into the treasury report, you wanna just grab pizza and take a quick break, or how do you wanna do this?
And we'll need to do the second signing list, or
That's
the
best.
signers.
Exactly, exactly. We'll do that now. or-
Do it after.
Okay, so we're gonna take a short break, we're gonna grab the pizza, come back, and then continue on with the agenda. All right.
Aaron, do you think there's any supplies that you hear for paper plates for? At least there's napkins.
Yeah, we may have to just use napkins.
Barry, you need any help carrying stuff?
Where are they?
I don't know this break is.
But he rescued her. And for initially.
Yeah, yeah.
You need any help getting the pizza? They're basically.
Yeah.
No, I was talking. We didn't want to disturb the meeting.
I wasn't going to.
But,
Actually, very.
yeah,
I don't know.
Literally just walk around.
Oh, yeah.
So as soon as I get it out. Yeah, I'll let you know. Yeah, that's why I haven't said anything, because we're waiting on that, and that back. Yeah.
They've taken down your bills.
Yeah.
I don't know if everyone today.
Yeah,
Financial.
I'll believe it when I see it. Yeah,
Okay, Bear.
all right, thanks.
There it is.
Kind of good. Yeah, having that, you got about
I got my age.
what his answer is, be a setback back to my floor. Another issue, I know that area, there's
Somebody tries to.
then that's another issue. And we did want to see. Yeah, this hump, you know, how he, you know, and it's like, this is not like a size, this is fine, this is the amount of. Up and down that.
Yeah.
At least these chairs seem to be.
Like this here.
Maybe some guys are not. They were very responsible to the.
Right.
So it's just like.
You also said.
Well, if you're in. As Austin. Pretty good. Yeah. Right.
They have the first but I can bring stinky.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah. Oh, good.
Okay.
Like,
That's what I need.
Let's see,
That's great. Yeah, it's.
Last bit of all
Today.
So they can. Right there on the line.
Yeah, I would say.
I get it.
Yeah.
Really?
I have nothing to say, any of you, I know everyone looked at me for public comment, and it's like, you know, it's gotta be some other thing.
Mine is a fight at night, but I think they're.
You know, it's like the president and vice president, they come in next year and have. No one. Didn't say this, it's just something in it. Well, now, like, some of your.
Yeah, but.
And the other.
Yeah. How does that thing, but it's.
Oh.
Like, yep, I mean, very much. Yeah, very much.
So.
But I had to mention that I want to use the dollars for the.
Just and so they can bring that down, but
You know, like, if they've done it in the right way. Exactly.
Let budget discussing.
or at least even,
I got it.
And a lot of times, which is why I have our. Yeah. Okay, well, I'll bring it up whenever it is.
Good.
I'm not gonna fight it too, then they'll bring it up. There might be.
Yeah. I remember, yeah.
I was, of course, wearing shorts.
Things like, you know.
They don't like it. It's, she loves it.
But it's like, it's always like that.
Like it's all she could hear the original. And everything, and what's this for you were going. Then later on. Thought about it. Like a 2% nice, but it was so. Really. You got the landlord. Basically cut ours in half.
That was, so I mean, like, yeah, but like, you know, over here, and
Right, but what it should happen, all you needed to do was to find out it's paid for what. And if it wasn't exactly.
Like at a restaurant, you all put down the credit card, so it's critical to pay the bill himself, so he wants everyone to chip in. He ordered the most expensive thing on the menu, but he still wants to go 50. I know what you want.
I've been doing so.
That's it. Sure. Let's see what else is going to be.
saying, oh, you're doing that much.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right.
So, thank you for suffering through the copy machine dilemma. Supply. And thanks for doing the motion tonight for the nameplate. And it should only be like $35. But it'll look better. I mean, it looks kind of Mickey Mouse right now. We were just talking about that. We have a we have a motion tonight to get the new ones. So they will look like the others.
I had no idea. I understand. Camera operator. The news here.
Yeah.
What kind of Superman?
Oh, really?
We know everyone. Everybody. It's a great group of people. We love.
Well, good.
Like, the political.
And you know, for somebody who's been on the air here, 87 or 89, either 87 or 88. But I mean, it's the nicest person, and it's like, it's funny because I work till like, usually work from like 7 to like 3:30. And she comes in at 3. He and I are always passing, and like we think that he's coming, and we always talk, you know. But he's very friendly to everyone.
He's seems like a
Very down to earth.
Yeah.
Right.
Like the whole crew is nice.
That I got in on, you know.
That's amazing. But he looked really good.
He was perfect. I saw it once when I was leaving the neighborhood council meeting, and I was starstruck. I love it. It's a great show.
Well, I have the card.
How long do you do the music?
Well, I've been
Or at least. Oh, you
here.
want to take a.
Boy, I've been doing it longer than that, but yeah.
We're gonna take the.
Where else besides here?
I was in class, like the writing English film, very long. You know, I was there until 05. I'm from here. I came back to
You went from here to there.
Yeah.
How long were you there?
About 16 years.
Does
Anyone need a copy of the agenda?
It was great.
All that.
Yeah.
It was.
I mean, while I was there, I went, in 98 Olympics in Japan. Their Alaskan skier.
Wow.
Went on a trip from the governor to Taiwan, South Korea, and Japan on another trip.
Board
A
members,
lot of travel.
board members, group photo.
If you go there,
Group photo.
everybody, you know, but you gotta fly 5, 7, 800 miles where you go, so it's not a lot of. I've had milk and cookies.
I was just gonna say biscuits.
Yeah, when she was running for the Senate too. We were doing a candidate profile. She didn't win. And she ran in 06 for governor, won. But I have new, and actually, she had done this weather in my state before I had ever been there. She was like a weekend weather. But, and she wasn't, back then, she wasn't bizarre. She really wasn't.
Sounds like they've done.
I mean, she was likable. I think she's got. When she became governor and, you know, running mate and all that.
Yeah, Sharon's.
And people made fun of her.
You gotta get a picture.
No, I'm coming.
Did go, he was.
Yes.
The model group.
But I guess it's a nice backdrop in here, probably better than our usual.
Yeah. The only problem with this room is the room is designed to be private, as opposed to for public speaking of it.
Yeah.
They're busy enough that they have to move things around.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, the other thing, they were gonna put us in the basement of the, and I have never seen it. It might have been okay. I don't know. Have you seen it?
Looks like a bad, all of it, all of this down here, you know, like when you go in a situation, is this trash or is this a public? And like, you know, sometimes they're downstairs and you can hear the cars and the guys are yelling and the cars back and that.
And they said the tables were set up on weekend.
Yeah, I don't know what, that's what they did with blood draw. And.
Right.
It was very dumb.
This is your.
I think, well, yeah, I mean, you know what?
I don't think they are giving deals beyond what they've ever done.
They're being competitive in the marketplace. We just came through, this will be the time for whatever. Doesn't really exist like it used to in the old days, so, but the TCA. It's just those.
And not that this studio does a lot of theatrical films, but they have said that the box office is up. So, I mean, that's good for this studio too, because people come here on smaller productions that might have been somewhere bigger.
Well, they can't get into stuff,
Right.
like, so basically, you know, like if no one has something, say, Universal will give him the title studio, and then there won't be any room for anything else, so they'll. This is never the venue of the door.
Oh, it has been for sitcoms though over the years, but sitcoms have kind of gone away to some
They're
extent.
not doing those two camera, sitcoms anymore. And when they do them, they do them on. So the
Yeah.
Warner Disney Universal calls demanding that any of the show they're got.
Yeah,
Have to happen on.
That's something that, you know.
And so that loads them, because this guy.
And I don't know.
You know, if he had brought just one, to 5 or 6 problems, you know, it might have been.
Well, and too much on too many.
Yeah. But I still don't understand. They sell this as an right, which is 25% of the million aid.
Yeah.
Right, so why, the other students, like, why, I still have Comcast, work with. Why is it Comcast, we're writing down this value of the production facility on the Universal campus? Is your friend said that the studios, the border, it's a sloppy system.
Stand up.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yes.
We're gonna need that.
There was a guy in San Diego.
Ready, one.
Throwing him on the lot. And.
Awesome.
Like, you know, back to the- and all my- and I'll put you- Yeah, so, yeah, that's why. And then they try to sue. Public property. Abandoned property.
Like the Instagram one, they come on you, and we will send you your. I don't use it.
This is an interesting one. So, where did you head? Tokyo.
All right.
Oh.
Okay, we're ready to start back with the agenda. And we're up to the vote on financial officer positions, which will be handled by Kim.
Oh, we need an alternate signer, since treasurer is first signer, we need a second signer. First and a first card holder, they can use the same or different people. Let's just start with who would like to back up signatures, after mine on the board action certification. You gonna continue to do that, Jerry?
Unless we have some volunteers or someone else that want to be nominated.
Maybe one of the lead people should, step up. Any volunteers?
Jerry and I have.
Yeah. Okay,
Jerry, would you accept that?
I'll accept that.
Okay, so at least for the signer, and then how about first card holder? Jerry, do you still want to hold a card? I think it's important you do. but-
Yes.
Okay. And then we have the alternate signer, which would very rarely happen. Would somebody new like to offer? Who's that?
Jay,
Richard?
I'll do it.
Jay?
I've done it before, yeah.
We've got Jay or Richard.
Not married to it.
I know.
Did Richard raise his hand before me?
We'll go, okay.
Go with Richard.
Okay, Richard will be the alternate signer. And we need a card holder, a second card holder, but we need somebody who is available to shop, actually occasionally stop somewhere and make a purchase or. Jay, do you want to do that or is it?
Sure. How
Your
often
hands go with that?
How
Okay.
often does it happen?
Maybe some, a lot.
Okay, that's fine.
See, would you be interested? How often? I'm sorry? I've been by.
Yeah, here you
She said how often will.
Jerry would have a better sense.
It's not that often. I'm the primary card holder and the only thing I purchase pizza and items for the BCC snacks, sometimes snacks for the events. And so the second card holder will back me up just in case I'm not available to make purchases like that.
It would require, say, purchasing something on Amazon that,
Right.
you know, branded merchandise or something. Right. And then a card receipt needs to be put up on the portal. So there is a little work involved. And you have to be up on the financial stuff a little bit to know, you know, what you can actually purchase or can't purchase or that kind of thing. To know what we've passed that can be purchased. So there is a little bit of work involved in that.
And Kim and I can educate you on what you can and can't do. And I can actually show you how to maneuver the portal.
If there's no one else, then. Is there anyone else who'd actually like to? I'm Richard, but you can't get out and actually purchase, the only problem.
What?
You're unable, I think, to get out and actually physically purchase things, correct? Which would make it a little
Oh, you
difficult.
do, it's okay.
Very un-
Oh, yeah, of course, you have some online training. Through the portal.
But this is different. Separate trading.
Yes.
Okay. Great, wonderful, is everybody except Lucine doing that? Okay, wonderful, Lucine, thank you.
If Richard and Lucien both want to do it, then you may have to vote.
He's
Let's-
back
And
down,
Richard's
but
okay, back down? Are you okay with?
Jerry's saying if both of you want to do it, we may need to vote, but I said I think that you back down, given that we really could use someone who can physically get out. I think he understands if that's okay.
Okay,
Right.
cheers. Okay,
Thank you, Lucine,
all right, anything else, Kim?
that's it on that.
All right, Jeff, Vice President's report. Nothing right now. Thank you. Jay, Secretary report.
I am just getting up to speed. This is my first meeting as secretary. I have formalized an agenda template that I will share with all board members. And will and I will have a voting tally hopefully available by the end of this meeting and send that to you all to the board so that you have that ahead of minutes that I would plan is to have minutes done within a week of a meeting.
And the motion counts out. Soon after the meeting, was the count.
Yes,
With like the CISs and things that have to get approved.
That's what I mentioned today, would be by email. that I-
yes, right, so, right, that's what I meant.
Exactly
by
what you
votes.
got it,
Right.
perfect,
Yeah.
thank you.
Great, thank you. So then we have to make sure all of the committee chairs are aware, because they might continue sending me motions and Senator Jay. All right. Okay, now what's next, Kim? Is that it?
You've got corresponding secretary Dimitri.
Dimitri, corresponding secretary.
At this time. Nothing at this time.
Okay. And now we have to do treasurer report. You have 4 motions.
Okay, first of all, I'd like to give a quick, a view of the financial situation this fiscal year. We have 25,000, that we are allotted and unlimited rollover funds. The funds have not yet been given to us. That will be formally given to us when final, auditing is done. And so at this time, we can only begin with the 25,000 so that the budget was formulated on that amount alone. So we're expecting about another 12 to 13. So that'll give us a total of 37 to 38 to spend. So with that, I'll read the first motion and I would like to give a little quick go through on that budget as well. But motion, treasurer's motion A, the board of the Studio City Neighborhood Council approves the budget and administrative packet for fiscal year 26-27, including the officer signers named within. No financial officer signers will be named and or confirmed at the July 2026 regular board meeting. Is that Richard seconded? Thank
Yeah.
you. Okay,
Right? Take a vote.
you need to
No
go.
public comment. No public comment. Board comment.
I'll just, if anybody has any questions on the numbers that are in there, I'm happy to answer. Well, looked at it and.
Okay.
Okay,
But those are just placeholders.
this is just to start it off, including things we're looking at, but I budgeted for things that are in the agenda tonight, which may or may not happen. There will probably be another, budget brought next month. When hopefully we have more funds and then we will know also regarding tonight's matters, but I tried to account for that. So, thank you.
Okay. Ready to vote?
Mercy,
Yes.
Sarah,
Yes.
Victoria,
Yes.
Kim,
Yes.
Dean,
Yes.
Andrew,
Yes.
Jay votes yes, Daniel,
Yes.
Lucine,
Yes.
Dimitri,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Jerry,
Yes.
Richard,
Yep.
Lori,
Yes.
Matt,
Yes.
unanimous.
Okay, treasurer's motion B, the board of the Studio City Neighborhood Council approves the monthly expenditure reports merged for April and May. I need a second, please.
Second.
It was Matt I heard first.
Public comment. Board comment.
I just want to apologize for bringing this forward. We did vote on this last month and time ran out for getting things through by fiscal year end, so we needed to bring it back around, so.
Okay. Given no comment, I move we vote.
Mercy,
Yes.
Sarah,
Yes.
Victoria,
Yes.
Kim,
Yes.
Dean,
Yes.
Andrew,
Yes.
Jay votes yes. Daniel,
Yes.
Lucine,
Yes.
Dimitri,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Jerry,
Yes.
Richard,
Yep.
Lori,
Yes.
Matt,
Yes.
unanimous.
Okay, treasurer motion C, the Board of the Studio City Neighborhood Council approves the expenditure of up to $100 to Pink's Printing for producing nameplates for new board members and officers. I need a second. Richard, okay.
Public comment? Chip, yeah.
I don't know where the chain of emails was going back. You said $100. I don't know if they're $18 a piece. If they are, and they're sick, would you call?
I found the receipt and it was like 35 for maybe 12, but I just cushioned it in case there was a change.
Just want to make sure.
So yeah, it's very inexpensive.
Any other public comment? Board comment? Will we vote?
Mercy,
Yes.
Kisara,
Yes.
Victoria,
Yes.
Kim,
Yes.
Dean,
Yes.
Andrew,
Yes.
Jay votes yes. Daniel,
Yes.
Lucine,
Yes.
Yep.
Dimitri,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Jerry,
Yes.
Richard, Lori,
Yes.
Matt,
Yes.
Yes.
one more, yep.
Okay. And treasurer motion D, the board of the Studio City Neighborhood Council approves the expenditure of up to $5,800 for the 26-27 fiscal year to Web Corner for hosting website, domain registration, MailChimp, and Gmail suite. I need a second. Thank you, Richard.
Public comment? Board comment?
I just want to say that the line items in our budget are not a go-ahead to purchase, and for whatever reason, although we had in the past gotten by with the office expenditures on that budget, they, for whatever reason, last year wanted the treasurer, David Burgers, to bring this forward, so I'm doing the housekeeping and getting ahead of it, so that's why this is here.
All right, no comment, let's move to a vote. Yes.
Is this compared to last year, is it? I increased it by 200 to pad it in for, because we have a full board. This includes the Gmail suite, which is per board member, and so I gave it a slight padding from last year's amount.
The reason I ask is considering how AI is like, there's so many ways of going around that. Is there someone that you deal with that?
This is, and we've been many times through many different fiscal years. Board members have questioned and gone over it and whatnot. And this is pretty fair and in keeping, and especially considering all that we're getting there. They are housing our MailChimp, which we could be paying for separately. They bill us for that. Our domain registration comes on their invoice. So they're handling some business for us as well. So, and taking care of the Gmails, the Gmail suite, and, you know, occasionally there's a bump in price in that so that our invoice price changes. But there's a lot involved. So I know it sounds like a lot of money, but it's, the website, hosting is at least fair and comparable to what's out there, and the other things are prescribed costs, so really, so.
Just think because of all the changes, I'm trying to see if we can save money somewhere. There's a lot of different things.
Yeah.
I agree. I think there are alternatives out there and they can be researched, but I brought that up a year ago and didn't go anywhere, but
AI has just been more like 6 months, 3 months.
Yeah.
So there's ways that people can, there's a lot of ways around it now that's easier. But I wouldn't know unless I really saw what's happening. If there's a way we can save money, I'm happy to do that.
Appreciate it. Yeah, people have looked into stuff and suggested some things along the way, as Andrew said, and it didn't materialize. The board decided not to go with some suggestions, but happy to have you or your committee look into it and come talk to budget committee. Be great.
I think any recommendation should come with some level of detail that we can consider. So it's not a general conversation, that we have something that we can actually look at
Just to put it in context, the board didn't reject it. It was, our past treasurer started to research it and he left the board.
Oh, okay.
So we were starting to research it and then it disappeared. I think spending this kind of money for, email, Gmail and all that kind of stuff. It's an incredible waste of money, but, and I know other boards are not spending $6,000 a year. So, yeah, it can be researched, I'd love to work with you on it. But we have to make a presentation, budget, I assume.
I would think so.
Does this include like website, like someone's taking care of the website, or it's just the?
Posting the
So it's,
They post, they will assist us if we need help to figure something out. They'll give us a password. They do a lot of stuff. So it's, yeah.
so that's probably the majority of the cost is for them. Yeah, because it comes to a little bit or something.
Dan?
I was just gonna say, as a graphic designer with this stuff board, first actually very complicated. The designer gonna do this on my own, I would charge you guys just. Well, the website's done. No, but I'm just saying, saying the website, I'm not trying to the whole thing, everything.
I think we should give a recommendation that we can consider and then take it from there, because we can't solve it here at this meeting. Okay. And likewise, I want to mention this, she mentioned earlier, we still have a budget chair position open. So we have to.
Yeah, I could really use help. So if anybody would like to chair budget and, or, you know, even co-chair with me, but thank you, Jerry.
Right. Right, so, let's vote.
Mercy.
We're still evaluating. Well, we're gonna, what is the current contract? And,
Oh, Kevin.
I couldn't hear you.
He said, when did the current contract end?
I am not sure. I don't know off the top of my head.
and is there sufficient time to research and evaluate and make the
Before our contract is up? I would assume so. I mean, we have to at least keep paying them right now, so, but so I'm not sure why you're.
You know when the contract's up,
Yeah,
okay, through that point,
I-
understand the deadlines and the team can figure out,
sure,
is there another approach that's more economic?
sure. I'll let you know that. I think I've got that at home.
So let's modify maybe to do a month, extend it for a month, or 2 months, what?
Can we vote now to vote, you know, to be able to pay last month's and this month and, you know, at least,
Yeah, but-
and then we can change this at a later point?
Money that's due, should have already been budgeted. But this came up last month.
Chip had his hand up, and even though he's.
I believe
you
the
know,
web corner contract is month to month. I think the only annual contract we have is the Zoom contract.
Okay.
And with regard to changing things up, the city attorney told us that if we reverted to the free Gmail, they've been told by Google that would be considered theft of services. And yes, there are a couple dozen neighborhood councils that don't pay for their Gmail accounts, and that's a sticking point. It would particularly be problematic if we went from having paid for 20 to not paying for any. And the other issue that was out there is the connectivity to the city early notification sites, the ENS sites. So it's not just like calling GoDaddy and putting together a website for a business who started. The connectivity to the website for the city was seen to be invaluable and couldn't be duplicated elsewhere. That may be wrong, but that was the decision last year. And we couldn't make a lot of noise about what the attorney told us, but I'm not a board member, so.
I think all great points. Take it, let's vet it and see, you know, nothing wrong with reconfirming.
Right, if it's month to month, I don't think there's a problem with.
No risk.
Right, someone could present an option during the next meeting. Without a problem. Right? Vincent, you have anything to add to this, or?
No, the only thing I'm gonna add is, again, if you're gonna amend the motion, that it is properly, seconded.
I am having so much trouble hearing in this room. What do we need to do? What happened?
If you amend the motion that you presented, if other board members want to do that, then it's be done, seconded, and then approved by the.
Okay, did I hear someone suggest it needs to be amended right now?
I think I think the, item on the table is to agree to go month to month and reconsider, another option at the next meeting.
I'm not sure that it is month to month. I'm not positive on that, truly.
It is.
And I'm happy to bring this again next month if we can.
I think this is gonna like waste so much time and maybe you save $1,000. Maybe and the effort to set it up is huge. Like this is a waste of everyone's time.
I'm also happy to go down to, we'll call it 1,000 for now. You wanted 1,000? I don't care. Want to make people happy.
Whatever we come up.
Can't answer any of the questions, so.
Right.
Either.
Well, if you do, you like save $1,000. Like we have rollover budget. Like why does it matter? It's a waste of time.
Yeah, I think it's a risk, but not.
This is not a great
Yeah.
point of view.
Yeah.
Money, and we have a small budget.
Bills, we're already month.
Don't need to waste money.
But you can always change it later. You can change it
If
later.
that truly, if that opportunity truly exists, then.
It does. We'll bring it, I'll bring another motion next month if people have something. Happy to do it.
Okay,
Andrew? No?
all right. I think this motion can stand as is, and then at the next month, when we have an alternative, we can vote on it, still adjust what we do going forward. Okay,
And I'll look up the contract pattern.
all right.
So it's staying, but we're not voting.
No, we're gonna vote on it.
Okay.
As is.
It doesn't stop another alternative.
Fine.
in there.
Okay, I'll do that.
Everyone okay with that?
Second.
Right, all right, let's have a vote.
Mercy,
Yes.
Sarah,
Yes.
Victoria,
Yes.
Campbell,
Yes.
Dean,
No.
Andrew,
No.
Jay votes yes, Daniel,
I can hear you.
Yes.
Lucine, Dimitri,
No.
Jeff,
Yes.
Jerry,
Yes.
Richard,
Yeah.
Lori,
Yes.
Matt.
Yes.
Motion passed. I recommend board members speak up when you're talking about the topic, because when you have stakeholders online, and sometimes your voice doesn't carry enough to reach the meeting hour. Okay? Or any other mic we might have out there. That's called a meeting hour. All right, they can
That's
see us
what we
too.
voted to spend $1,100 on.
All right, let's move on to the Transportation Committee. Barry Johnson.
So for the transportation report, the board, as you will recall, voted a motion last month to Lindsay Horvath and Nithya Rahman regarding the $7 parking fee at Willacre. And we are still in the process of trying to find out from Lindsay Horvath exactly what went down. We haven't made contact yet, but I believe she doesn't even know that the funding was cut and it got lost somewhere in the vastness of the county budget. So we're trying to get to the bottom of it and get the funding restored so that parking lot will be free again. So to be continued, but it's not forgotten.
Thanks for that.
So the first motion comes to us from Councilmember Nazarian, who I believe is trying to think out of the box when it comes to these parkingless apartments, which there's not a lot we can do, but again, he's trying to think of things to help the situation. So the motion says the board of the Studio City Neighborhood Council supports Council File 26-0264 to instruct the Department of City Planning, in coordination with the Los Angeles Department of Transportation, the Los Angeles Housing Department, the Office of City Attorney, and the Los Angeles County Metropolitan Transportation Authority to report back with recommendations for new housing developments, including but not limited to those that provide zero on-site parking to be required to provide Metro tap cards or subsidized transit passes to residents. Upon receipt of this report back, the SCNC requests holding off agendizing the report back to the designated city council committees and the full city council for votes for at least 4 weeks to allow this NC and other NCs to review and submit comments based on the report back. This motion is also to be submitted as a community impact statement to Council File 26-6-0264.
Public comment?
I like that it poses a little pain on the developers who are gonna burden the neighborhood. That 100-unit place, catty corner from the library. That'll screw up street parking for a quarter mile around. At least this'll make them think twice about, well, maybe half it, not twice, but hesitate for half a second too.
Yes.
Should there be something in the motion? Like, as long as the residents are living there, or none of they might just do it for a year.
Well, I mean, we're just supporting the report back at this point to see what they suggest. Yeah.
Thank you.
Any other public comment? Board comment? Kim?
I'm never in favor for a report back if you're not in favor for what that report is about. And I'm not in favor of these tap cards. It goes back to, I don't think it would be on the developer. I think it's gonna be on the taxpayer to pay that. Taxpayers already subsidize the transit system, heavily subsidize the transit system. It would not work if the whole lot of us were not paying for it. And that brings the cost of the Metro cards down also for people so that it's quite affordable. It's already affordable for them. I don't think, as much as I hate this high density and no parking, I don't think that the taxpayer needs to be saddled with free cards as well. So, which.
But the developer would pay for them.
Well, it's gonna get passed on regardless.
Gazara?
Realistically, everybody knows these.
You better speak up.
that Apartment buildings with no parking are a terrible idea. These people are not going to not use their cars, and it's going to affect the neighborhoods. And I'm just concerned that these tap cards are going to provide a smoke screen for the developer, because now they can say, well, look, I gave these people tap cards. It's going to be a distraction and just provide cover for them. You know, it's like a penny for them. It's like a drop in the bucket. It doesn't cause them any real pain. It'll just give them cover to say that, no one, these people are going to be using their tap cards and not having cars in the neighborhood. And we all know that's not true. There's a project in San Jose where they provided 1 parking space for every 3 units in San Jose, and it's 60% vacant. And it went into bankruptcy, and the city had to buy it back. And so these projects are a disaster, and I think this is just going to give them cover.
Any other board comment? Yeah.
And the developer's already subsidizing individuals who will pay lower rent for their units, and that's being passed on to the other people who are paying full market rate, if not higher. I don't see why the developer should have to be subsidizing additional items here. I'm just against it conceptually. The way to deal with the problem is to change the law in Sacramento by having our legislature and our governor take away these laws, crazy laws that were passed that allow cities like Los Angeles to take away local control of our neighborhoods. So that's the solution, not doing something like this, which is going to be pretty much meaningless. That's all it
Richard?
is.
I just think that the tap card idea is not a very sound one. Thank you.
Dan?
I think everybody has the point. We already know that people are going to use this at their house. they're gonna park in the street. So the tap cars aren't gonna be that effective, but if they wanna have it as an option, that maybe, hey, you move in here. It's almost like they do in high school, they offer these kids tap cars for free, LAUSD pays for them, so these kids can like bus it back and forth, try to limit. If that's an option the developer wants to use, then we can get the developer to use it, maybe cut down some of the traffic, cars that park where streets aren't, with the residential streets are gonna be affected, aren't overly crowded, if they're gonna get overly crowded, and, you know, figure out a way, I don't see why not this attempt. Yeah, it may not be effective, but at least it's something, because right now we have nothing. So I mean, it's worth looking at.
Any other board comment? All right, let's move.
And just for clarification, your vote on this does not make it so. It does the study and it supports one of Studio City's council members' ideas too.
Thanks for that report, Barry. All right, let's move to a vote. Mercy.
No.
Sarah,
No.
Victoria,
Yes.
Kim,
No.
sorry. Technical. Dean. No. Andrew.
No.
Jerry votes no. Daniel.
Yes.
Lucine.
No.
Jeff. No. Dimitri.
Yes.
Jerry.
Yes.
Richard.
No.
Lori.
Yes.
Matt.
No.
Okay,
Okay,
did not pass.
motion B, which has to do with sidewalk replacement. The board of the Studio City Neighborhood Council supports Council File 26-0481 to instruct the Bureau of Engineering with the assistance from the city attorney, the Bureau of Street Services, and city administrative officer to report back on the following: a cost-benefit analysis of curb, ramp construction, and sidewalk repairs across neighboring cities and comparative jurisdictions, including their compliance efforts with accessibility standards, cost, design, best practices, production rates, delivery models, and prioritization strategies, and recommendations for best practices that could be adapted and implemented in the city. 2, an evaluation of whether the city's construction and accessibility standards for pedestrian facilities exceed federal and state ADA requirements, and recommendations to align standards where appropriate to ensure compliance while maximizing the number of pedestrian facility repairs and improvements delivered citywide. 3, an evaluation of Los Angeles Municipal Code Section 62.104 and any other relevant ordinances related to sidewalk repair, including recommendations to update these provisions to align with the city's obligations under the Americans with Disabilities Act while identifying opportunities for cost recovery. 4, recommendations to improve program delivery, including potential restructuring of city crews, contracting models, and interdepartmental coordination to increase efficiency and accelerate project delivery. Upon receipt of the report back, the SCNC requests holding off agendizing the report back to a designated city council committee and the full city council for votes for at least 4 weeks to allow this NC and other NCs to review and submit comments based on the report back. This motion is also to be submitted as a community impact statement to Council File 26-0481.
Public comment? Yes.
Does this include advocacy for board sidewalk network connections, like ensuring, there's a property at Valley Spring in Cahuenga where there is no sidewalk and people walking down it are forced into the street. It's a very rare exception, maybe one property and half a mile of sidewalk. Is that included in this?
It would definitely be looked at and in conjunction with ADA requirements as well.
Any other public comment? Board comment? Okay, let's vote. Mercy,
Yes.
Sarah,
Yes.
Victoria,
Yes.
Kim,
No.
Dean,
Yes.
Andrew.
Yes.
Jay votes yes. Daniel,
Yes.
Lucini,
Yes.
Dimitri,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Jerry. Yes. Richard,
Yeah.
Lori,
Yes.
Matt.
Yes.
Motion passes. Right, government affairs.
So government affairs, quick report, just that CD4 and in conjunction with Representative Brad Sherman, they got $3 million towards the Beaman Park new gym in 2023, and that money has come forth to the city council, and Councilmember Rahman had to do a motion to accept the money, so that money is going into the city bank account designated for the completion of the Beaman Park gym. And so hopefully, even though there were delays on this, it will supplement any cost overruns, which we usually have because projects take so long and we have inflation. So that's good news. And if anybody's driven by there, the project's moving along well. So motion A from Government Affairs, and this has to do with holding people that steal metal, to hold them accountable for all the costs of fixing what the damage they've done. So the board of the Studio City Neighborhood Council supports Council File 26-0002-S11, a city council resolution to support Assembly Bill 1941 Gonzalez, to clarify that criminal liability of metal theft be calculated based upon the full cost to the victim to repair and replace the stolen materials, including labor and equipment, rather than the fair market value of the scrap metal. Metal theft would be punishable as either a misdemeanor or a felony, sending a clear message to those who damage the city's infrastructure that they will face stiff consequences. Upon confirmation of this council file request, the SCNC request holding off agendizing the council file confirmed request to the designated city council committees and the full city council for votes for at least 4 weeks to allow this NC and other NCs to review and submit comments. This motion is also to be submitted as a community impact statement to council file 26-0002-S11.
Public comment? Board comment? Richard?
Yeah, I noticed that sometimes that like at the bottom of the street pole or street light, they will damage the actual box. And I'm noticing that they're just, seem like focusing on the wiring here, which is important, but they also, sometimes you have to replace the whole streetlight pole because the bottom area is broken into.
Any other board comment?
Yeah. Didn't we vote on this or very similar last month?
Not this exact one that's a state supporting the council resolution to support the assembly bill.
Okay.
And also you notice it says misdemeanor or felony. That's based on the dollar amount of the repair and labor, but all those costs will now be added together to determine whether it's a misdemeanor or a felony.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, we did pass something similar. For the, at the May board meeting, the copper wire
theft and the aggregation of the theft, so I guess,
And what we're in
very
the
similar.
CRES.
It's similar.
Yeah, similar, yeah.
How is it different? I'm not-
Was that one for an assembly bill?
Yes, as well as for Senate Bill 1266, so perhaps yours deals with the companion assembly bill.
Yeah.
The one I did was for the Senate bill.
And I think this one came later. I guess it can't hurt that we support both of them, and I'm assuming when they get back in session, the two will get together and decide. They'll have a conference committee between the two bodies.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, ready for board vote?
Mercy,
Yes.
Sarah,
Yes.
Victoria,
Yes.
Kim,
Yes.
Dean.
Yes.
Andrew,
Yes.
Jay votes yes. Daniel,
Yes.
Lucine,
Yes.
Dimitri,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Jerry,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
Lori,
Yes.
Matt,
Yes.
motion passes.
Okay, the last GAC motion has to do with the overabundance of our green, black, and blue trash bins where ADUs are, and they, in addition, get a set of 3, and just there's placement problems being when the ADU is built, they're not required to have somewhere to store those. So anyway, the Board of the Studio City Neighborhood Council supports Council File 26-0877 to instruct the City Planning Department, the Department of Building and Safety, and the Bureau of Sanitation to report back with that should be report back, that within as a typo, report back on ADU trash policies and procedures with recommendations to mitigate increased trash needs when additional ADUs are added to existing properties. Lot intensification has led to no planned areas for trash receptacles or adjustment to additional service for new units, leading to spillover into the public right-of-way. When ADUs are added, additional trash bins end up on the same property, leading to an oversaturation of individual bins. Lack of space to accommodate these bins on site leads to them becoming permanent fixtures of the sidewalks, alleys, and parkways. Oversaturation of individual bins creates significant accessibility barriers, public health concerns, and major quality of life issues for a neighborhood. Consequently, there is an urgent need to align the building permit process with sanitation requirements for appropriate trash receptacle type and location to address the overspill of individual bins and proper on-site placement. Upon receipt of the report back, the SCNC requests holding off agendizing the report back to the designated city council committees and the full city council for votes for at least 4 weeks to allow this NC and other NCs to review and submit comments based on the report back. This motion is also to be submitted as a community impact statement to Council File 26-0877.
Public comment?
I think it's a great idea.
Board comment?
Are there already rules on keeping these receptacles on private property?
But yeah, there's actually a law that's not enforced that says, other than trash days, your bins cannot be seen from the street. How many single-family homes do you know that you can walk by and you see them 7 days a week, even though they're on the property, but they're not hidden?
I'm just concerned about adding more requirements to the permitting process, given the already onerous permitting requirements. If there's already an existing law that you have to keep it on your property. I don't know if I could hide my receptacle somewhere on the property where you can't see it from the street. It's in my driveway, and it's behind the gate.
But this is for ADUs.
Yeah.
And it's bringing another set of trash bins, that which is the problem, and they're allowed to build the ADU, but there's nothing saying when you build the ADU, have a 3 foot by 9 foot area, slab of concrete where you can put them.
Other board comment?
Doesn't seem like a huge problem to me.
What doesn't seem like a huge problem?
I can't hear you, Matt.
If someone has an ADU, they need garbage cans, like, it's pretty straightforward, and they're gonna pay for it. And it's like one grandmother in a ADU probably doesn't make that much garbage anyway, they like to put it with their family when they live with it. It doesn't seem like that big of a problem.
Yeah, I'm not willing to make that assumption that
Yeah.
it's just one grandmother with a minimal amount of trash. I think this is being brought before us because it is a problem in our community. It does affect the quality of life when you have trash bins as something that you have to look at on a daily basis. So, I think it's perfectly reasonable. I think if you're gonna build an ADU on your property, the least you can do is create some space for trash bins that do not adversely affect neighbors. I think
You need 12 square feet. It's 4 square feet times 3 for each of the bins.
very reasonable.
But not visible from the street.
No, but it's not saying that. I'm saying there is another law that is on the books that is not enforced, but just an FYI.
Any other board comment? Daniel?
So most ADUs have a separate address for the main entrance, right? So that's why they get their own trash cans. Am I correct?
Some do, some don't.
You all through with the, those some.
Well,
There was targeted enforcement issue.
Because it's just that the address comes from them, like, double the trash bins, but that's my understanding.
but if it's an ADU that you're renting to another family, they probably are gonna have their own bins because your family is probably gonna use their 3.
That's my point.
Right.
So ADU has a separate address, that address is gonna have a set of bins. Main address has a set of bins, so now you're talking about.
Yeah.
Bins. And so what we're really asking, we're trying to figure out, just so I'm clear that rental spot, we're trying to say they need that, the main spot needs to make when they rent that, they clear an area that says your bins go here.
So it's not out on the street all week.
Or is that in the renter? And not on the main, I mean, does the main person say, well, that's on the renters, that's the renters issue because that's their address? Or is that not? I mean.
It's the owner's responsibility.
So it depends on, how the agreement is assigned, if it's assigned, it depends on how the city utility provider is classified, that's what it says, so it is usually anonymous. It's how it's classified.
If it's family or rental.
Yeah, basically. Because depending on how the city and utility providers classify.
That's not your.
Separate addresses.
Richard?
Part of it basically is if they're getting their own DWP bill, then they're being charged for trash collection. And so you gotta have a place with a barrel being charged for trash collection.
Okay. I think we heard enough on this one. You ready to vote?
Yes, please.
Mercy,
Yes.
Sarah,
No.
Victoria,
Yes.
Kim,
Yes.
Dean.
Yes.
Andrew.
Yes.
Jay votes yes. Daniel,
Sustain.
Lucine,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Dimitri,
Yes.
Jerry,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
Lori,
Yes.
Matt. Okay.
With that. Right, next up is the Budget and Finance Committee. Kim.
Okay, jump right in. Section A, the Board of the Studio City Neighborhood Council approves partnering with the American Red Cross to host a community blood drive and authorizes a funding expenditure not to exceed $250 for marketing materials, printed flyers, and volunteer donor refreshments. This is 100 printed flyers at 90 cents equals $95, bottled water, self-contained fruit, bananas, oranges, and packaged snacks like donuts or snack cakes purchased at Ralph's, Vaughn's or similar at up to 100. This is for one event. And maybe if Andrew wants to say anything at all on this, give a moment.
So we've had one blood drive this year and it was successful. The location was not ideal, but in so doing, we had a good response. Very proud, we're very grateful. They said the amount of blood donated would potentially save 75 lives. I have reached out to the Red Cross there once again in emergency mode. They need blood. They're very anxious to have us host another blood drive. I reached out to Studio City Library. They're more than willing to provide a space for us to do it there. They will have several blood drives there this year, but they have an opening in October. It's a nice spot. It's more public than the last location we had, and the cost is minimum. The impact is significant.
I think it's great.
Okay. Other comment?
I think it's a no-brainer, just support it, please. I donate, I'm O positive, they want me. Thank you.
Okay. What, here?
I just want to mark the moment in time when Scott's actually been documented as being positive. Yeah, this is a great thing. We tried to get this done for a long time. We were not able to get it off the ground. Andy was able to. It's really important. It's not just blood, it's not just the super blood, but it's also, they'll try to get people back with platelets, which is important.
Yes.
I think it's great. I'm a 5-gallon bin holder, so please do it.
Right. Richard.
One tech detail is that this lot, including on Saturdays, has been really full. I want to make sure we have space to put on such a thing, whether it be in this room or another room. If this place is jammed.
I'll say it again.
Mention that fact that we have to physically have a place to put it.
You probably be the library.
Studio City Library.
Okay, I'm just asking you.
And the Red Cross doesn't do blood drives on the weekend in a place like this.
Any other board comment?
Yeah, I just want to point out that as we go through these, I mean, I'm for this, but there were 19 events that we're being asked to vote on tonight. This is just one, luckily, one. And I shuddered when I heard Andrew say something about more blood drives this year. But there are 19 events here, so we'll talk about them as we go through them, but I just had to comment, this is one, and I'm for it. There's one.
All right, no hands up, let's vote.
Mercy,
Yes.
Sarah,
Yes.
Victoria,
Yes.
Kim,
Yes.
Dean,
Yes.
Andrew.
Yes.
Jay votes yes. Daniel,
Yes.
Lucine,
Yes.
Dimitri,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Jerry,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
Lori,
Yes.
Matt,
Yes.
motion passes.
Okay. The Board of the Studio City Neighborhood Council, I'm sorry, this is motion B. The Board of the Studio City Neighborhood Council, SCNC, approves co-hosting community cleanups within Studio City in partnership with Volunteers Cleaning Communities, VCC, to be held monthly during fiscal year 26-27, excluding December 26 and June 27. It's the same thing as above, 100 printed flyers at $90 times 10 events. 10 events are being suggested here, $900 for printed flyers. Bottled water, self-contained fruit, bananas, oranges, and packaged snacks like donuts or snack cakes purchased at Ralph's, Bonds, or similar at up to 100 per event times 10 event is $1,000 for snacks. We're familiar, but if there's anything you want to add, Andrew, before going to public comment?
Just that we had our most recent one this past Sunday, despite the heat, despite competition from World Cup final. We had 30 volunteers who picked up more than 30 large bags of trash and had probably a dozen different pickups through the My Freedom One app. We have another one in August, month after. The cost is minimal to me, but the bang for the buck is worth it. It's just a great event. Just a good event for the stakeholders. I think the fact that we have it on the third Sunday of the month is something that's starting to register with all those volunteers. It's something that they're remembering and they're showing up. We had 5 people that we honored because they have attended 5 events and they got, their custom little personal vests and buttons because they've done 5 events so far. And we've only had 6 events, so I think it's working. And as far as other events, I can't comment on that. I just think it's a regular, it's a good community event, and it's not just picking up the trash. It's getting to know your community, getting to know your neighbors.
Great. Okay. Vincent?
Yeah, so the manager Tony Chang acknowledged this council's work this past Sunday, and she announced it before the board of neighborhood commissioners for a meeting on the day.
Thank you.
Sorry, can you say that again? I was a fan going back.
Yeah, General Manager Carmen Chang, Department of Neighborhood Empowerment, she acknowledged this council's work effort this past Sunday for the work that they did with the cleanup, and she presented before the board of neighborhood commissioners.
Let's feel that.
Presented who an award?
What? So, yeah.
Presented who an award?
So
What?
Carmen Chang presented in her general manager's report,
Heard that.
the Board of Neighborhood Commissioners this past Monday, the work efforts that this council did this last Sunday. I let her know what you guys were doing out in the field. And she presented to the Board of Commissioners.
Oh, she presented the
Yeah.
board. Thank you. That's what I didn't, thanks.
One thing, I self-nominated this committee for that award that he mentioned earlier. I submitted it last week, so you'll get it. Would suggestion, Andy, in this experiment, you have 900 flyers, like, I'd be curious if you didn't mark it one time, if you get similar attendance just based on the digital.
It's hard to hear.
Like, how effective are the physical handouts versus just email?
We have public comment first
Yeah.
before board.
Yes, let's do
You're
that.
there? Any other
Public comment? Yes.
I never hear about these events on Instagram or anything, and I do get things advertised from stuff that I don't follow. So I'm sure that more people my generation would love to show up to stuff like this if they saw it. I don't know if there's an opportunity there, but this and the blood drive both sound great. I love that this is here. I'm surprised I'm hearing about it now, aside from the main emails because I signed up on the website.
Are you signed up to get notifications from our website?
Just the email service, but I think there's an opportunity here is what I'm saying.
How do you hear about all your different events?
I am trying to figure that out right now, so that's part of the equation, but stuff does pop up scrolling Instagram reels, and I have friends that spend a lot of time on TikTok as well. So there might be an opportunity to pull in younger generations with short form video content essentially.
Any other public comment or your board comment?
Can I comment on Zoom?
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say that Outreach is definitely working on reaching out to people via social media. So I just wanted to point that out, that this is something we're definitely working on. And the flyers, I can help print for free as much as I possibly can. But I think it's good to have a budget in case I'm unavailable. And I just wanted to throw that out there as well.
Sounds just like Justine, who was once in this room.
Now you're magically coming out of a white owl.
All right, Victoria?
I just want to make a comment. I do believe that we should continue with the paper advertising marketing, but also Justine is working on it, and we have a youth committee. And I'm working with the youth committee, and I'm very excited. We have some very ambitious young people who are gonna be working on that.
All right, Richard?
Yeah, this is in the sure would be nice category. It sure would be nice if we would have Studio City Neighborhood Council printed on those black jackets that our particular people put in there. I know there's lots of people, other neighborhood council. I'm just considering publicity for our neighborhood council. Lovely, beautiful jackets, let's have on the event. Stacy Neighborhood Council on the best.
So we partnered with BCC, which is a volunteer group.
I know what it is. I'm just trying to see if we can get publicity for doing what we're doing already.
Yeah, I don't think we have the budget for something like that, but just the question about flyers, for the last year, we've just been printing them, either at my cost or now Justine volunteered to print herself. What I'm saying is that there may be situations where we have to go a little more high tech and do a high quality flyer. The flyers are distributed in different business areas. We don't have the manpower to go door to door. It's not a tremendous expense to print up 50 flyers. And the refreshments we bring again are no budget. That's all.
Daniel?
I know we have like our younger group, it's probably gonna do social media, but to answer the question, something like Meetup or something like that, do you have like friends or like that be a tool for that you guys utilize?
Yeah, that happens. There's a lot of part-of-full events, but usually that's for something more social than something like this. I really do think a lot of them discover stuff just
But
through. I
like,
would say that short form video content is frequently talked about as very addictive and consuming many hours of many people's days. And a lot of people are looking forward to opportunities to feel called to join community and to be involved in movement. So I just very brief highlight of that, but I don't need to take up the floor too much.
Dimitri?
So I think like the blood drive, I think it's a great idea. I really appreciate the effort. I do substantially balk at the amount that you're asking for, especially for flyers, as he's saying. I think we can find other conduits for really solid promotion. And also, it sounds like, you know, to your credit and the event's credit, it is gaining some traction, perhaps even some word of mouth. My big concern is we have a tight budget. I'd like to see some of the money that's wishing to be allocated here, allocated elsewhere. So the amount I would propose would be closer to 450.
For total or just for printing or?
Good question. For the line item that's 900, I'd like to see the 900 cut in half. 450 to 450.
I guess so. I would agree. I wondered if you went through 100. And if 50 would suffice, so that we say you're dropping them off at various businesses, maybe, and then 100 is not much. However, also with Jerry here, Jerry, you had been buying some refreshments and little snacks. And I think it was never more than $30 or $40 for an event, correct?
Right, the
We
snacks-
cut this in half.
Right, the snacks
1,000.
always come up to around $25. That didn't include water. And if it expands, then it would have to be more than that.
Would you be willing to cut this cost down? And further though, I just want to say, I mean, well, I think it's great. It's 10 events, and I do think we're gonna have to be handling some of this stuff as actual events. Before community cleanups were not, but because of the way I think that they are going now, and because of some input from the funding clerk's office there, these things are gonna have to be vetted. How
That's
much
why
work
it's-
there'll be, we'll see. But
That's
I'm just commenting that it may have to be. But I hear couple things that I've heard out on the street is people, oh, the neighborhood council, oh, you're the ones who put on events. And they don't know what else we do. And I think it is great. I'd love to see this at 5 rather than 10. And perhaps efforts elsewhere in different things that other people may want to join. The people who like to do this monthly can still do it with BCC. They don't have to do it through the neighborhood council. We don't have to be that heavily involved. I kind of like the thought also of, and it's, well, as Andrew said, they meet at Vitello's and then people go off in their cars and go to other places to do the cleanups. Something like coffee with a cop or whatnot, where we're all sitting there with coffee, people are coming to talk to the officers. We also then get a chance to actually talk to them. So, you know, Andrew's had a chance to talk to people a little bit. The whole reason for outreach is to let people know what the neighborhood council does. And it's not just, we don't just put on events, you know, so I object to the amount of these. I'd like to see less of these and some more of other things and the cost cut down.
Sure.
As a stakeholder, I want to do the cleanup. I don't want to do coffee with the cop. And so what we have found is the people that have gravitated towards coffee and the cop, including a former shining star in the budget committee, decided this is what they wanted to do with their time. So those folks have decided that a monthly cleanup is valuable. The people that attend it think it's valuable, and this isn't a zero-sum game. They're not going to change what they're doing with their volunteer time because you want them to do something else. They're just not going to do it. So if you want coffee and a cup, do coffee and a cup.
So no, friendly suggestion of a way to have more conversation with people.
Well, what I'm saying is by taking 10 to 5, why are you taking between 150 and 300 stakeholders that would otherwise interact with the neighborhood council and canceling that event, which costs us nothing? I don't get it. This is far more important in my mind than movies in the park, and it literally costs you no money. And there is conversation, and they feel committed because they've done it.
And as far as coffee with a cop, in the last year, I have not heard one suggestion from this council about coffee with a cop. I've seen it in Valley Village, Van Nuys, North Hollywood, Sherman Oaks, and yet it keeps coming up. But I don't.
Jeff mentioned it last meeting.
Yeah, I mentioned it last meeting.
Well, is it happening?
Yeah,
In the last year.
it's going to happen, but yes, we're gonna coordinate with our senior lead officer to get that done.
Okay.
Chip, I mean, Scott.
I just think it's not, these events are not mutually exclusive, as sort of, to amplify what Chip was saying. I was at the last one. I didn't clean up. I just went there and spoke to people, and I got to jawbone with the rep from Horvath's office. The electeds come. They're there for hours, and it gives the stakeholders and the people who participate good face time with the people who are controlling our lives, and they really appreciate the efforts. And as you heard what Vincent said, it does attract a lot of attention, and these people enjoy it. And the people who walk by go, oh, what you guys are doing is great. And if you show up to these, you'll probably see for yourself why these are very important. Andy does a hell of a lot of work. So he's just asking for a minuscule amount of money. And by the way, you guys couldn't spend your money last year. How much did you carry over? You couldn't even pay what you had last year. And you were worried you wouldn't be able to even carry it all over. So now you have it. So spend it on flyers and snacks so people can clean up Studio City, and then let Jeff work on coffee with the cop and let someone else come up with another event or some type of use for the neighborhood council other than community impact statements and things like that.
Okay. I participated in many of these events, and it's amazing how we meet people who are hearing about the Studio City Neighborhood Council for the first time. Even the neighbors, you walk by their lawns and they're walking around their property and they see you cleaning up the streets and they express their appreciation for it. And I think doing this monthly is start give the Studio City Neighborhood Council a name for itself in the neighborhoods, because I know people are finding more and more about this. And also, I think that if we have an opportunity to do this at another location or other locations with the same type of setup, with the same type of amenities that we can get in front of the hotels, then it'll help expand us across Studio City. So I'm all for it.
So what's interesting is there was criticism that all we do is events. At this event every month, there are flyers on this table. It explains what the neighborhood council does. It explains what committees we have. It has flyers about what to do in case of a disaster. So there is reach out. And in the 6 months that we've done this, we've had representatives from both council offices, from the supervisor's office, and from the assembly and Schultz's office. So the impact is there.
I think it's great.
Jerry?
Yes,
I want to ask Andrew, so what do you think of the $900 that you're asking? And my point about that, is that an amount that can be reduced, especially, one second, especially if you transfer the efforts from the hard copy, the physical copy, to what he's suggesting, which is more of an online presence?
Well, online presence is me.
Yeah.
I'm the only one doing that.
Well, what do you think of trimming the $900?
And-
Because it is a lot. It's a lot of money to spend on a flyer that people frankly are going to throw. Other than that, I support everything you're doing.
If you want to cut it in half, I mean, right now, we've been doing it at my expense. Justine is printing it at her expense. If you want to cut it in half, that's fine. I'd just like to continue it.
Well, I don't, in
I
good
mean, we can
conscience,
cut it in half.
okay, but in good conscience, I don't want you and her to be incurring more expenses. I'm just wondering if realistically there's a way to trim this in a way that doesn't financially affect you guys.
Or we, mentioned TikTok.
Yeah.
That's a great way for it to go viral and people to find out. So do we have an account? Do we
No.
have a TikTok account?
No.
So I'm happy to help, and set something up and show whoever's gonna do it.
So can I make
I
it?
manage 8 other accounts.
Can I
But,
make it? Can I make it?
but if I can show
Send it
everything
to
to do it,
450?
that's an.
Can I
So
make a
let's do
motion?
that offline.
Can I make a motion to?
I agree, that's fine. I appreciate it.
Very.
Justine, is your hand up for this motion?
Yeah, I was just gonna say two things. Number one, I think people are stuck on that this is paper related. If we change the wording towards advertising costs, would that be better? That's my first question. My second question is or point is that I think the council doing something consistently is only gonna spread word more and more about what you guys do. And I think events are the best way to do that. And this is something that helps the community. So I think it's a really beneficial thing that, again, doesn't cost too much money and people really enjoy.
Thank you. Other stakeholders with their hands up, Matt Phone.
Yeah, hi, this is Matt Epstein with Vitello's. And I just wanted to give you a thought as well as a possible solution. So the community, the neighbors that come in, the stakeholders that come into Vitello's do talk about this community event, the community cleanup. They like it. And they talk about the Studio City Neighborhood Council. And so it's been a buzz has not been there before. But again, to save your guys' time, we're more than happy to go ahead and print up 100 flyers every once in a while. So if there was another volunteer that was looking to go ahead and fill that gap, we're happy to fill the balance of the gap whenever you guys need it. I mean, 100 flyers is nothing. We have a printer. We're happy to do it.
Brother. So the meeting place is always in front of Vitello's. Which people
There is none.
wanted it elsewhere in our city.
There is no conflict of interest.
How do you?
I have no financial stake in Vitello's.
No, but you're meeting at Vitello.
Yes.
So you're bringing foot traffic to their business by way of.
No,
Excuse me,
no.
let me finish my sentence.
The restaurant's not open.
What's that?
The restaurant's not open. We sit in front on the sidewalk. And that's where we meet and we sign up everybody, we register and we point everybody out.
And you said they provided water and coffee.
Correct.
Vincent, did you?
Yeah, so.
And we also provide,
There is a substantial conflict of interest of any kind, we've worked on this in the past, the other areas, you need to reach out to the Los Angeles City Attorney with the either female. So I don't give any legal advice, we suggest board members not giving any legal advice. The city attorney goes over very, very specific material, if there's a financial gain interest, they speak with the individual. And once they've gotten that legal guidance from the city attorney, that's where we go off of. We do not go off of any legal advice from any attorney, even if they're the best of the best. They practice that on Melvin and Myers and Richard and Watkins. We only take the legal advice from the city attorney. So if there is a particular.
Recording in progress.
it's back.
We can't see or hear. We can't see or hear anything. FYI.
Your Zoom link has disconnected. We can't hear or see anything.
Yeah, it's back on.
Stand by.
It's back on.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes. Can hear and see. Thank you.
Back.
Stretch,
Sorry about that.
it's a stretch, and the community is embracing the event.
Sorry, say that again, the community, what?
The
Is
community is
embracing it.
embracing the event.
And I think it should be embraced. I think there should still be a conversation about particulars related to it, such as the financial matter and such as the potential conflict of interest.
Yeah, well, I
Other
think
than that,
the
I
city
support
attorney
it.
will weigh in.
What's that?
City attorney will weigh in.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, let's move on.
It seems to me basically not really on the right thing. It's not a actual conflict of interest, it is a perceived conflict of interest, which is prohibited the same as if it was a real one. It doesn't make a difference as far as I can see.
Right. I think we need to get this information to the attorney and then get a ruling on it.
Can I make a motion to trim the amount to 450?
Okay. Is anyone want to second motion to trim it to 450?
Or do we have to hold off until he?
Instead of 900.
You have it washing on the table, you need to have a second from someone on the board.
I'll second
I'll
it.
second.
Okay, then you have to, then
You have to rewrite it.
and you have to approve that, and then.
Right.
Right, but
The motion is to move it to 450 instead of 900. Did that
Could you add the cut in half for refreshments? as
Yeah, you
well?
want me to read the motion?
Can you add cut the refreshments in half as well?
Oh, where is the refreshment?
It's right afterwards.
Right after, it's at 1,000
Oh, and also to
to 500.
to trim the 1,000 to 500.
Thank you.
Let me
Second
do a
that.
check. Justine, can you hear us? And can you unmute your?
Yes, I can hear and see you now. Thank you.
So the amended motion was to change the amount to 450 for the printed flyers, and the amount for the snacks to 500, is that correct?
Correct, that is correct.
I think that's fair, and I believe that if it expands, it gets bigger, then I could see the outreach committee coming back and asking for more. Because currently the snacks, if you include water, would come up to around 50 for that right now.
And I would support that as well, if they need more, they.
Right.
For that.
Yeah, so it's, you need a second, it's revised.
Okay,
You gotta go public comment.
we got a second.
And you need
second.
public comment.
Okay, so let's go to public comment. Scott,
I think changing it simply to up to rather than the dollar amount would make a lot more sense. I think what you guys are doing intentionally or unintentionally is a spectacular vote of no confidence for your outreach chair, who's putting forth quite a bit of effort and time to do these cleanups. And if I were outreach chair, I would consider resigning after hearing these comments and a complete lack of confidence, especially after what we just heard about all the glowing responses from what Andy's doing, and from the fact that our electeds show up and pitch in to all of these events. And I think you're all getting very petty and you're wasting a lot of time. That needs to just move on and just approve it and trust Andy, or have a motion next month and have him removed as outreach chair if he doesn't quit. Thank you.
Chip,
I think there's more time being spent micromanaging $500, which is basically lunch, than there is by those same people actually participating in events and getting out in the community. You've accepted a voluntary position to serve the community. Part of that is investing this very small amount of money in the community, and the rest of it is getting out there yourselves. I think you guys gotta move faster, because basically everyone walks around frustrated. It's now after 9 o'clock, and you're killing yourselves on a couple $100 worth of Xerox. I mean, just move on.
thank you, Chip. Okay, so we have the motion to amend it. And any other
Board comment?
board comment?
Yeah, I agree with Scott and Chip. I think we're getting really too nitpicky and it's disrespectful to Andy. Andy has done just such wonderful work in so many ways with these cleanup events, with the blood drives, other things, all sorts of other outreach. I think he's terrific and we should show him more respect and support.
Okay, Dimitri?
Yeah, just to be clear, there's no disrespect taking place here. I don't want that implied. For the record, I prefaced my statements about Andrew's blood drive and about this by expressing full support and admiration and appreciation for what he's done. At the same time, I feel an urgency to have fiscal responsibility, and it's perfectly acceptable to raise some issues when they arise. But that doesn't mean I don't support what he's doing. I fully do.
Okay, Victoria?
I just want to support Andrew on this endeavor, and I think it's just helping the board, period. It's helped to grow our youth committee. We've had more kids come out, and we had 8 kids who came out to be a part of our youth committee, and a lot of it has to do with the cleanup. My neighbors, they talk about the council because they see them on the streets. And I honestly don't believe this expenditure for food and flyers is out of line.
All right, Kim, then Jeff, and then.
No, I echo what Dimitri said. We do have a fiscal responsibility to put this in a fair place and as we agreed, I mean, you haven't been spending that on refreshments. So wanted to put this in a better line, but no disrespect. And Andrew does work very hard. Personally, I'd like to see that work be spread around to some different areas is my issue. So it is appreciated what you're doing. And many of you who are new have not seen where we have gotten a lot of people from other events, a lot of youth involved with other things. So it goes around, but
Yeah.
that's it.
I agree with what Chip and Scott said. Let's stop worrying about these kind of trivial things. Trivial in the sense that we have a $37,000 to $38,000 budget, which we don't even get close to spending every year. This is $900. More than likely, it's not even going to amount to that much. So let's just approve it and move on.
Okay. So we have the amended, motion that we had second. Okay, so we want to go ahead and vote on that.
Mercy,
Yes.
Casara,
Yes.
Victoria,
This is no for the amended motion, correct?
This is voting yes or no for the amended.
If you know, is cutting it, is cutting it. No.
Okay,
well, I wanna make sure that when you're saying no, you're saying no to the whole motion.
No, we're voting on the amending the motion, so it'd be no, no to amend the motion.
Right.
To bring it down to 450.
Got it.
And the other.
Right, yeah.
Okay, so no. Kim,
Yes.
Dean,
No.
Andrew,
Yes.
Jay votes yes. Daniel,
Yes.
Lucini,
Yes.
Dimitri,
Yes.
Jeff,
No.
Jerry,
yes.
Richard,
Yes.
Lori,
No.
Matt. Motion passes.
Great. Okay. Now we have to vote on the motion.
Yeah, that was just for the amendment, now we have to vote.
Public comment on the amended motion.
We already did that.
Okay,
No,
no,
No, we need.
sorry.
no public comment, board comment. Right, let's vote.
Hang on one second.
Well, wait.
I thought you just
We
voted on
just
the
voted
amended.
on the amendment.
Voted on the amended,
Right.
right.
So now,
Now we gotta,
Doesn't that just fold into the main motion, or we have to procedurally do it again?
right.
I
But you have to vote, you have to vote to approve to amend the motion now. And now that approved to be amended, now you voting on the amended motion. That's just where it goes.
It should be the same position.
That's procedure.
we're voting twice, cut it.
No, now we're voting.
First you voted to have it amended, and now you're voting on the amended motion.
That's right.
Amendment was to reduce the amount.
Right, right.
That's which passed.
Yeah, so the past time.
So the, now we're voting pass.
The amended motion.
The past motion.
Reduce.
Correct. You voted no, might vote yes. Correct.
That's true.
Right. Where do you check with public comment? No public comment. no
But if I
board-
don't.
I think we already, I think we already did public board comment.
Right, that's what I'm saying. I would vote for it.
So we have to vote, yeah, just
Right.
spend something on it.
Right.
If the thing.
Hang on one second. Sorry.
So when you read back the motion that's been amended, it should be read so that everyone who's voting for it knows what this motion that you're voting for. is
Right.
about.
So basically saying. You have to read this.
I see it.
Go ahead, Dimitri, if that's the right chair.
Jerry, you want me to read?
But
Motion BFCD, the Board of the Studio City Neighborhood Council approves co-hosting community cleanup within Studio City in partnership with Volunteers Cleaning Communities, VCC, to be held monthly during fiscal year 2026-27, excluding December 26 and June 27. 100 printed flyers at 90 for times 10 events equals $450. Bottled water, self-contained fruit, bananas, oranges, and packaged snacks like donuts with snack cakes purchased at Ralph's, Bonds, or similar, at up to $100 per event at an events that amount we provide. So, what's that, $50 per event times 10 event, equals $500.
Okay,
Correct.
public comment? None, board comment? So before we vote, I think it's a unanimous decision that we really believe we need to do this. I don't think it's really downplaying the event and the effort by looking at cutting. I don't think cutting it in half is gonna have a huge impact. And if we see that it grows and it needs more, we'll get more, right? So there's nothing wrong with doing it. It has no negative, and no negative impact, and we're not saying we don't want to do that. Basically,
Wait, say that again, what?
I'm saying that reducing the amount is not saying we don't like the event. This is just us looking at it from a cost standpoint, that's all. Right, so let's vote.
Just a smarter way of advertising it and promoting it, that's all.
Okay.
The event is great.
Mercy,
Yes.
Sarah,
Yes.
Victoria,
Yes.
Kim,
I'm a no on the number, that's all.
You, yes or no?
It's a no.
Okay.
I'm on 10.
Dean,
Yes.
Andrew,
Yes.
Jay votes yes. Daniel,
Yes.
Lucine,
Yes.
Dimitri,
Unequivocal, yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Jerry,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
Lori,
Yes.
Matt.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Next motion.
Okay, this one, the Budget and Finance Committee did not recommend a support. And it strictly was about the number of events and the amount. Budget, Finance Committee motion C, the Board of the Studio City Neighborhood Council.
I'm sorry, I have to recuse myself. I own a business.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, and I have two as well. I think.
Did everyone hear what they
Told
told?
Lori,
I think you said.
I've had a discussion with the city attorney. And there's no conflict of interest. Okay? That's why I'm sitting here.
Okay.
All right,
I'll continue to read. The Board of Studio City Neighborhood Council, SCNC, approves a sponsorship of $10,000 to fund the expansion of the Tujunga Village Street Fair from a single annual holiday event into a series of 4 community street fairs throughout the year, $2,500 per event. Andrew, do you want to read the motion as you had put it out, which is fuller?
I do, so I'm gonna, yes, this is another event. And we will read it, but I'm also gonna say that I'm gonna do, and we'll discuss it, but I also say I'm gonna offer an amendment to this motion. So, the motion as written, the Board of Studio City Neighborhood Council approves sponsorship of $10,000 to fund the expansion of the Tujunga Village Street Fair, a single annual holiday event into a series of 4 community street fairs throughout the year, $2,500 per event. In terms of background, for years, the Tujunga Village Holiday Street Fair has been one of Studio City's most anticipated community events. Due to its success, organizers are expanding this tradition to 4 events per year to transform Tujunga into a pedestrian-friendly destination filled with shopping, dining, live entertainment, family activities. Each street fair is a vital neighborhood celebration that attracts between 3,000 and 7,500 attendees, drawing hundreds of families and visitors from across the valley. It provides economic benefit to local merchants, restaurants, and artisan vendors. It creates a safe, welcoming, and free environment for residents of all ages. Hosting these events incurs substantial operational costs, ranging between $10,000 and $20,000 per fair, covering city permits, street closures, traffic control, insurance, and public safety. By approving the $2,500 sponsorship per event, the neighborhood council will secure founding community partner status. This ensures the neighborhood council receives logo placement, marketing, on-market materials, event signage, premium booth space to engage directly with stakeholders, and recognition across social media. The fiscal impact as written now is a total of $10,000 to be encumbered from the fiscal year 2026-2027. So I've had several meetings, not only with the city attorney, but also with Dunn. We've talked about it. There was a similar street fair in Hollywood that the Hollywood Neighborhood Council sponsored, along with several other corporate sponsors. It was a huge success. My meeting was with Dunn. They were very enthusiastic about it. They actually had other ideas in terms of funding. CD2 was also present, very enthusiastic about this event. In discussing with organizers, they want to revise this motion. And so I think it's smart, rather than go for all four, that we just focus on the first event, which is in December, is the holiday street fair. And it could be $2,500. I'll let, there's an organizer online, my brother, who will comment on that, but that is the motion. But I would like to revise it down to one event at a lower rate.
Okay.
So are we doing an amendment? So that you.
Well, I'd like to first discuss, yeah, so I'd like to open it up to the public and the board, any questions, and then we can talk about revising.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, Scott, I keep calling you Phil.
Thank you. I think these types of events where the neighborhood council sort of hitches their wagon to somebody else who's doing all the work, and we simply write a check is the way to go. That would have been the way that Music in the Park would have went. It would have been a $2,600 bargain if it was presented properly at the beginning, instead of what that turned into. And I think because of the work that these events require, paying for someone else to do the work and then participating in it is the way to go. It's a bargain. The council district is there. We would be positioned next to Denise and whoever else from CD2 is there. Adrin is usually at these. And people do bring up community type events or issues to CD2, who would then pass them over to us and back and forth. It'd be a great synergy. This is not a specific advantage to Tujunga Village. Other streets are able to close down and have events like Ventura Place, like Ventura Boulevard used to when we had the yearly Christmas parade, like Sherman Oaks does when they close Ventura Boulevard from Van Nuys to Kester for their street fairs. So this isn't advantageous just to Tujunga. It is an idea for other streets in Studio City to do something similar like Ventura Place. I think you should support it. I'd like to hear Andrew's amendment. And because I think maybe committing 10,000 for all four might be a bit too much, but certainly the upcoming holiday event would be great.
Justine.
Yeah, thank you. I think that for the neighborhood council to not be at these events is crazy, because this is where you'll get the most amount of exposure to the community. I do think the amount is a lot. And I brought this up in the outreach meeting. I would be curious to see, since we're not selling anything, we're just trying to connect with people. If the board is, wants to go back to them and see if we could pay less, just because I assume the sponsors, they get a little bit more out of it, where we're just trying to connect the community. So I just wanted to bring that up. I think it's really important that the neighborhood council is at these events and is connecting with the community, and as many people that are involved with the council are having conversations with people so that they, can know about us, know what our events are, and know how to be included in these types of meetings too.
Okay, Bethel. Are you there?
I'm sorry, is it my turn to speak?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Okay. So, just a little history for thank you guys for hanging in there. I know this is a long meeting for you guys. So, we've been doing this holiday event for a long time, and it does draw a lot of stakeholders. It draws a lot of community, and it's been very successful, not just for the businesses, but for like somebody had said, the council members are usually there. The amount the idea was brought to our committee that ran the holiday event, to expand it to 4 times a year, the 4 seasons, a winter, spring, summer, and fall event. And we just finished about a month and a half ago. We had our our music and wine festival, which was super successful. And we offered a booth to the neighborhood council, which was not manned, which was a shame. But the idea is for outreach to your stakeholders. Somebody had hit the nail right on the head as far as you couldn't ask for a better value for your bang for your buck. I personally was there from 8 o'clock in the morning on the last event until 1 o'clock in the morning, doing the cleanup and finishing it. There's about 3 or 4 people on the block that do all the heavy lifting, myself being one of them. And it does take a lot of money. It takes a lot of time. But again, we don't do this. I personally don't do this. I've been in the community for 67 years. I'm also president of the Sherman Oaks Homeowners Association. So Vitello's is for me. My wife and I bought it 22 years ago. It's a passion project for me. My main business is not the restaurant. But the restaurant is that kind of cheers place where everybody knows your name and the community comes there all the time. We offer our rooms for community events. Neighborhood council uses it or has used it. The chamber uses it. It's the different electeds use it all the time. The different rooms. So the idea is to bring community on a regular basis. So the amendment is to date before we get married. We had asked for $2,500 to be a sponsor, and the sponsor is more than just a co-sponsor. And the way that we came up with the 2,500 was because of what our costs were on the last one, and we did have 2 sponsors that helped us get to the finish line as far as all the businesses put money in and put time into it as well. So somebody had brought up at the original meeting where we made the presentation, where I believe that we had a unanimous green light on the project, and I believe it failed in the budget. But one of your board members had suggested that the 2,500 be more than just a realtor who was Craig Strong at the last one, and an attorney who was the other sponsor, because you guys are a community organization and not selling any product. And I went back to our committee, and they totally agreed on that, and to give you guys a lot more than what we gave them. However, to bring this forward in the spirit of dating before we get married, I would like to suggest for the holiday event, we have an event coming up in a.
Can you wrap up because you're taking a lot of.
Okay, so yeah, the wrap up is if you wanted to be a sponsor for the holiday event only to see how it works as far as the booth placement, if you're getting the type of bang for your buck, then at that point we would have already in January we'd have our dates as far as the next 4 throughout the year that we could give you guys, and if you agreed that it worked out for you on the holiday event, then move forward to push it down for the balance of the events once you have the dates.
Okay, thank you. I like to start to say, I like the idea. I like the amendment to do 1, commit to 1, see how it goes, and then see if you want to do more. Also, probably consider supporting something like this at the tour place, if possible, and spread the wealth not spread the wealth, but spread through your city names, areas other than just Concord Village. Okay.
If Ventura Place came to us,
Right.
be great.
So that's all I have to say. Any other board comment?
What do you mean? Sorry, what do you mean by that? Though, if Ventura Place came to us, we came to the council, not to the. Okay, I'm sorry, I was confusing with Concord Village. Okay.
Victoria?
I agree. I agree that we should move forward with budget for one event, 2,500. And exactly like you said, Jerry, to spread our influence across the whole city. Ventura Boulevard, Ventura Place.
Where it makes sense.
Whatever other little pockets.
And if it makes sense to do it here, again, do it then. But let's do it once and then see how it goes.
I was gonna say, I agree as well. I actually go to all the events at Tujunga Village. They're fun, my family loves it. But I agree that, I'll never see maybe something that's been to the place too. There's something going on to spread the wealth, but like you're saying, I think it'd be beneficial for the
Kim had her hand up next.
Yeah, first of all, what was suggested, that we get for this is not just helping to sponsor, but, part of the original, motion that, Andrew had given prior to this formal one that he read was, as a community partner, your organization will receive prominent logo placement on event marketing materials, recognition on event signage, recognition across social media before and after each event, premium booth placement at every street fair, although it won't be at every one. Opportunity to engage directly with thousands of community members, recognition as a community partner, helping make these free family events possible. Well, I love these events as well. The original reason for doing them, of course, was to drive traffic to Tujunga Village. I'm not sure, and maybe Vincent knows, but how we do this as far as I asked Andrew who we'd write a check to one of the business owners. I don't think they want that. I don't know how it's been done in the past, but I'm not sure how we do this, first of all. But we'll find out if people are on board. But also as a taxpayer, that these are taxpayer funds and we're a community organization, we've normally been given these tables for free. And we are given them at farmers market. We balked at the 2,600 for music in the park. And we did end up getting a free table there. Tujunga gave us a free table that we don't have the manpower for all these events. So even Andrew ended up canceling that event and that table, because no one was there to man it. So my concern is, are we gonna set a precedent if we spend 2,500 taxpayer dollars? If we say okay to that, are we gonna then start getting charged for farmers market? I think that's fair game if they wanted to start asking us for money. I'd be much more on board. I think 1,000 is more within keeping of what we have sponsored to have a table somewhere. 2,500 is still, it's a bit much,
I'm sorry, you guys, my,
Matt, other board comment.
sorry.
I have a question, Barry, is the Residents Association been approached or participating in this?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay, do you think they really?
You mean for Christmas?
For one or others?
I think we're
They
the
have not
first
been
because it's the association with us.
Okay.
This is the very first sponsorship. We will be the first ones.
Okay, so that was my first question. Second, I think it's a great event, but 4 is a lot to commit to in light of a reduced budget from 32 to 25. Would push $10,000 for ticket, 4 events, that's a lot of the budget. Notwithstanding rollover is, that money should have been spent. So that's a whole separate discussion. It's not, now we have rollover, so things don't matter. They do matter, and we're not finding places for it for a whole host of other reasons, but I do think it's a great event, and we should one at a time. We don't know what's gonna come up in the year, other opportunities, so we need to save that powder for, perhaps other opportunities.
So I agree, my revised motion is $1,500 for one event, holiday street fair, which is,
Are you bringing 10 to 1,500, you said, rather than 2,500?
correct, which is.
Second.
Yeah, which is, I believe half of what Movies in the Park was. And the reach is apples and oranges. Movies in the Park, a couple hundred people, some families. This is literally thousands of people, and it's a great way to interact with a lot of stakeholders.
So time out, Dimitri, so time out for a second. Are you making an amendment to the motion?
I can read the revised
Because
motion.
if you make an amendment to the motion, then you have to vote discussion, so I'm not sure.
Okay.
We're still having the.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to add some on the
Well,
original.
So I said I was gonna make it after.
That was a joke when I said it.
Because, so,
Yeah.
so I would I would approve 2,500 instead of 1,500, if that would be of help to the event, just to put that out there. Maybe that helps counterbalance the previous conversation, the previous motion, but, the other thing I just wanted to say to Kim's point, I think we are paying, my sense is, and someone can correct me if I'm wrong, we are paying for more than just a table. The table is one of the things that we're getting, but in essence, my understanding is we're paying to help support the event. The farmer's market doesn't necessarily need that from us. So I don't see a slippery slope forming as a result of us giving, whether we decide 1,500 or 2,500.
The question was, who do you write a check to? Well,
Yeah.
it's a process. And correct me if I'm wrong, Vincent, but the idea was to have this presented to this board, voted on it, and if it was to pass, the next thing would be to meet with the funding person from.
So one of the things I recommended to you, because I didn't have the details, we were discussing this with the council secretary's office as well, was once you completed your committee meeting on Monday, that if you had questions, that we would go to the funding rep, Anna Cardosa, have a virtual meeting with her, and any questions you had, that she would clarify them, so when we brought them to the board, that, you know, when they're asking their questions with due diligence, that those questions would have answers. Because we're now at the board state level, again, that opportunity, that invitation still stands. If you want to talk to your funding rep, which I highly recommend.
Right.
Because they will walk you through each step, see what you can and can't do. You can always do that.
That's administrative.
And I've done enough of
Jerry,
these
sorry.
that I'm aware of them.
I just wanted to finish very quickly. I also wanted to say, I agree, one event rather than the four to start off. Let's test the water, see how it goes. And then lastly, provided I'm in town, I'd be more than happy to man the table that we have.
Sure. Yes, Joe. Yeah, we should do one event. Problem is, we often have these events and then we have a table there's no one there to staff it, so. Let's do a dry run here to make sure that we have board members properly represent there at the table, volunteering throughout the day for this particular event. I think we should focus on the holiday event. It should be $2,500, which doesn't seem like an unreasonable amount. And my last thing is, we do have a conflicts of interest provision in our bylaws. So it's Article 5, Section 5. So it does talk about conflicts of interest, financial, business, etc. So we've seen, and Mercy were correct in recusing themselves for this particular vote. So I applaud them for their forthrightness on this. So if you don't understand it, it's in our bylaws. So please read our bylaws and review the provisions because they're fairly clear for board members. Anyway, that's all I have to say.
One other item I want to mention, I don't know if everyone knows this, but the two of them and Andrew went to the attorney's office to check, to vet whether or not it's a conflict, which was even before they came here. But they did the due diligence for that. Before they.
I think that's great, although I understand too, you talked to the council district offices, Andrew. That if we all said no, that wouldn't be so good if you had already spoken to them. We really should have it go through the board before it's spoken to.
To do research.
Yeah, you said they
To do
were on the
research,
board,
I
they
have to
were.
do the board.
If you're talking about an event that the neighborhood council is gonna do and seeing if they'll help out or if they're in support, it should go through the board before it's spoken to with them, yes. Entirely.
I disagree. Since they have a history of already supporting. But I wanted to get I wanted to get their feedback.
If you went to them to say, hey, what do you think? Do you like those street events? Fine, but if you're saying, you know, we're thinking of doing it, or we'd like to see if you want to team up with us. I'm not sure your exact conversation. Just saying people have gone ahead and done that before in the past. It's not the right way to go.
Okay. I think, all right, we had enough board comments. I think right now there's a proposed amendment to the motion.
Very simple. The board of the Studio City Neighborhood Council approves a sponsorship of $1,500 to fund the Tujunga Village Holiday Fair.
Right, the amount was.
Second. Is there a second?
Second.
Yeah.
That's public.
Public comment?
I think it should be 2,500.
I'll say something.
Oh, I see a lot of people are very concerned about spending and not speaking to council districts and gathering information. Does everybody know you're out $1,500 because, a committee chair went and made a deal without consulting with this board first, and then you were unable to collect the money? $1,500. You guys have been talking about 800 and 400 and all these other amounts, and you're out $1,500 because of a bad deal that somebody made that you guys can't collect. As far as this, fine, so chop it down, make it $1,500 and see how it goes. And let Andy, do his stuff. He's working so hard and we're spending so much time. I'm still here because I'm the next motion. I would have left a long time ago. So just.
I also want to make one other comment. There was a mention that, we had a table at the last event and it was a man. Since then, the outreach committee has beefed up considerably and we have new members and they are very actively involved. So, and we have a new youth committee that I have not met yet, but I've been told they are very enthusiastic. So I am encouraged that should we go forward on this and we put a table up in December, it will be men.
Okay, any other? Good, Joe.
I'm uncomfortable too. I understand that it's wishy-washy and there's a lot of board members that have conflicts and everything else. I get all that. I still think we should support this because one of the things that we did 4 years ago is we divided the state, we divided our constituency into 3 groups. It was the hillside residents, the valley residents, the business community broadly, and then basically nature, right? Open space. Since then, the Ventura Place Co-op has gone belly up. We've not been able to really figure out what to do with the bid and how to support the bid because of the new nomenclature change with the bid. Still need to find a way to actually get behind that entity that supports merchants in the community. And the other place we talked about was Ventura on the other side of Coldwater. This is still something that's important. It is the identity. It is giving our friends and neighbors something to do, including a job. So it seems small.
Any other board? Dimitri?
I would like to see $2,500 given by the 1,500.
Second, I'll second that, need to be second, but. All right, so. As you amended it, right, we talked about the amendment. So now we want to.
Can we make an amendment to the amendment or is that? That's fine.
Right.
Need to vote on that. So the motion has to be read with amended language.
I just read it.
He read it. Read it.
There
So
was
it's
a
a
second.
vote.
So we're voting on the
Amended
amendment.
motion, yes.
Mercy.
Right, no
We're
more.
voting-
Sorry about that.
We're voting to accept the lowered,
Yes.
okay.
She can't vote.
Right,
She cannot vote.
I got that.
Okay.
Casara,
Yes.
Victoria,
Yes.
Kim,
Yes.
Dean,
No.
Andrew,
Yes.
Jay is a yes. Daniel,
Yes.
Lucine. You're kidding, I knew. Dimitri.
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Jerry,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
Lori,
Yes.
Matt,
Yes.
Right.
amendment passes.
Now, once the amendment passes, now we have to get public comment. None, board comment? None? Now we vote on approving the amendment. So.
Second.
Right. No. Go ahead.
So now we vote on it. Mercy. Sorry. Sarah.
Yes.
Seconds, right?
Victoria.
Yes.
Kim.
Yes.
Dave.
Yes.
Andrew.
Yes.
Jay votes yes. Daniel.
Yes.
Lucine recuses. Dimitri.
Yes.
Jeff.
Yes.
Jerry.
Yes.
Richard.
Yes.
Lori.
Yes.
Matt.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay.
Terry, can I bring them back in?
Yes, you can. I'd like to say something to the board. I wouldn't get discouraged over the challenges we have through some of these motions. I think the good thing is that based on how much the outreach team has expanded and we're starting to do some positive things in the community, we're not used to it, right? We're gonna get used to it because we're gonna keep getting better. And I think we're gonna be able to plow through these a lot quicker, right? We're gonna understand the dynamics of it, and then we're gonna be able to accept some of these like we had in the past, right? I think it's healthy that we're challenging it, just not rubber stamping things.
But it shouldn't just be up to outreach. Board members should be there. It's important, so.
Board members are there. I've seen board members, I'm at almost all the events the outreach team put together, and I've seen other board members show up, right? So I think, and that's gonna grow more because we have new board members who I think are gonna get more involved. Like we mentioned before, the youth committee is gonna energize this board a lot more, to more, right? And so we're gonna watch this board evolve to do more of this. We're gonna get used to it. We're gonna get better at it going forward. That's all I have to say.
If I can add one thing, if you feel that a board member has a conflict of interest, review the agenda, because it has to be posted 72 hours before the actual meeting time. You can bring it forward to the city attorney's office, and we can review it so that when the issue comes up before the board, we're not going back with this ping pong, trying to figure out if it is or if it isn't, at a breach. We have a definitive, verdict from the city attorney, provided there's sufficient evidence. So if you do feel that, reach out, we're gonna get as quickly as possible. If you call us the day before or 2 hours before a meeting, most likely the city attorney will be able to. Okay. So we are here to assist.
Thank you.
All right, now,
Thank you, Vincent.
now we're up to the agenda item called the outreach committee.
Oh, that's me.
You have any energy left?
None. More than that. 10 o'clock. So. Yeah, so I do want to say there is great energy in outreach. We've begun our initial research on the centennial. I've reached out to maybe 24 organizations and individuals, just sharing the fact that there will be a centennial, and just that we're open and willing to listen to. And so far, all we've had is positive response. Nothing specific, nothing's planned, just we're reaching out there. In terms of outreach, Vincent mentioned the election. That's why I think these events are important. It's a way to get out there and introduce this board to stakeholders, let the public know who we are. And you don't just want to, a couple dozen people voting, but in terms of outreach, next door, I got this performance summary on our postings on Nextdoor, and we've had a significant impact. We post the second most amount of postings of all the neighborhood council. I believe there's 99 neighborhood councils, and we're number 2 in terms of posting. And in terms of our reach, since January of this year, we've shown a 521% increase in terms of impressions. So I just want to share that. That's it.
That's it, thank you. All right, public safety and homelessness.
Just want to say, next week, Thursday, we have our monthly meeting. So be there. I want to give a shout out to an achievement that was actually mentioned by our senior lead officer. Scott Mandel brought to our committee a problem that was over at the Colfax Bridge area. We discussed it in our public safety committee. Our senior lead officer said, yeah, it'd be great if we put a little fence there where, you know, the homeless encampments are being set up under the bridge. So then, kind of partnered with sustainability and beautification, who brought the motion to the board. It was passed. It went on to our electeds, and they're actually discussing possibly putting a fence and actually doing something for our community. So just want to give a shout out to sustainability and beautification and Scott Mandel and you're great. Yeah, but it's a point being is it's a collaborative effort to get stuff done, the stuff going, and we can actually do things that have a consequence for the community. So I just want to bring that to the board's attention.
I hope everyone knows this is not just a fence. The senior lead officer expressed how their hands are tied because they can't go after people breaking the law unless they do something that really violates some existing code. And when he saw Scott's video, he saw that if there was a simple fence there, right? Even a fence they could get by. The fact that they could bypass that fence is something that he could prosecute. He said, get the fence up and then I could actually do something. So that's what it was all about.
So good job, Edgar.
Good.
That's it.
All right, sustainability and beautification. Andrew, again.
No. Actually, beautification, one more cleanup next month, but I'm gonna toss to Scott. So, motion.
Just one general comment about sustainability and beautification before I read this is there were comments about what else this neighborhood council can do to interact with the community. And I touched upon this before about community impact statements. The community doesn't give a rip about community impact statements. What gets them going are requests for action. And the one that we did, our committee, public safety and Jeff, that got Officer Gonzalez talking tonight was a request for action that then went to a group of very motivated community members in the Colfax Meadows area who amplified our work, and they helped bring this home. And whether the fence actually gets put up or not, there is so much back and forth and recognition of this council that requests for actions are things that the board and all the committees can start working on. They're free. And you get the right one, you get a lot of kudos from the community. So I'll leave it at that. I'm going to read this motion. This is in the wheelhouse of sustainability. It is boring as can be. There's no money. There's no conflict of interest. There's nothing to buy. This is about an invasive that we grow here in Studio City along the LA River. And it's called giant reed. And this is a request for action to get the attention of the government officials to eradicate it because it's bad news. And all of you who got the agenda, the latest one is not truncated. This one I'm holding here is missing one more sentence with the addresses, the aerial shots, and video and stills of this Arondo, this giant reed. So anyway, I'll just read it. I know we're all tired. And you all can hear me, right? Am I speaking loud enough?
Yeah. Perfect, Scott.
The board of the Studio City Neighborhood Council asks that Council Member Rahman request from the appropriate city, county, and government agencies the immediate and complete eradication of the giant reed groves in Studio City. Giant reed, Arundodonyx, is a fast-growing, highly invasive bamboo-like grass introduced to Southern California in the 1800s. It now plagues waterways statewide, crowds out native plants, consumes massive amount of water, increase fire risks, and alters the river ecosystem. These groves pose a serious danger to the local LA River watershed as well as all areas downstream. The invasive should be eradicated immediately. And there's a link, and there's actually another link on the final agenda that gives you everything you want to know about giant reed. One of the groves is just west of Tujunga on the south bank. The other grove is right behind Sprouts. These are areas that most of you probably don't visit. I do, I'm there regularly. And crews have been hacking it down, which is the worst thing to do because that's how it spreads. It doesn't spread through roots, it spreads through its own particles. And then if it rains, it'll go in the LA River, it'll go downstream to Frogville, and then we're gonna have a terrible problem. So Studio City shouldn't be the patient zero for spreading giant weed downstream. So I'm sure you have no questions and you're all going to vote to support it. We'll do the request for action and then I'll take care of it. Thank you.
Barry.
I'm almost certain I've seen the reed on the north side between Colfax and Tujunga, if I'm not mistaken, and I was just going to suggest that if that is correct, that you also send it to Nazarian. Because that's his district.
I've never seen it on the north side and
There's one
Kat
one
hasn't seen
spot.
it, and she's more of an expert than I. You haven't seen it there, have
I
you?
haven't been over there, but I wouldn't be surprised.
We'll take a look.
You could direct it.
Yeah, I mean, and it's easy to send it to both.
Yeah, sure.
No, no, wait, oh, sorry. No public comment, board comment? All right, let's vote.
Mercy,
Yes.
Casara,
Yes.
Victoria.
Yes.
Ken,
Yes.
Dean,
Yes.
Andrew,
Yes.
Jay votes yes. Daniel,
Yes.
Lucini,
Yes.
Dimitri.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
Jerry.
No.
I almost refused myself. Richard,
Yes.
Lori,
Yes.
Matt,
Yes.
motion passes.
Thank you.
Right,
One other,
Good video in there too. Very good.
Scott, do we want to, tell the board about the ZEV cleanup? Or is it premature or?
want to cover this other motion first, or they, next meeting?
Next meeting.
Here we go.
Well, no, no, there's another motion about it.
Yeah. It's
Tired.
There's gonna be a big cleanup on the ZEV. Some of those palms are coming down. It's happening by MRCA. It's happening after the birding nesting season. All the critters that can be saved will be saved. The invasive trees have to go away. It's not our fault. It's not Harvard Westlake's fault. No one should write graffiti on the fence. It's MRCA.
I
There'll
just
be
want
more
you to all be
information
aware
about
of it
that.
because there may be blowback.
2 years ago, there was giant blowback about the offenses we made by trying to kill the bunnies.
Oh, they chased it all over the place.
So.
All right,
Early heads up.
all right, you want to hit that last motion?
Can I make a suggestion or say to send this thing is such a mess, the way it came out on this paper, that I think, and it never went through budget, it was talk. Can we save this for the next meeting and clean this up? It got mixed in with some of what Scott just read, and I mean, the whole thing is really a mess.
I agree with that.
Would you take it back?
I will table the motion. I will withdraw the motion. Excuse me.
Thank you. Okay.
All right. So let's move on to cultural affairs.
There's, we had a really good movies in the park.
Can you speak up a little bit?
Movies in the Park event. There were over 200 attendees and we welcomed 11 partner organizations and there were different kids activities that were provided by businesses and some organizations. Or perhaps next year we'll think about doing it somewhere else besides a park. There's some other very creative venue locations that we're possibly thinking of. Perhaps, like for example, Adrian had his watch party street fair where he had the big screen TVs. And so perhaps we
show a movie with a big screen on the street. I don't know, that's just thinking outside the box and, for the next event, is the Centennial Planning. We're trying to, gonna meet with the committee members and agree to begin, shaping the different ideas, for the celebration, working with outreach to, come up with, different events that we can do together. And, some of the ideas we had were, can you speak up just a little? Yeah, some of the ideas we had were a street fair, and, really, we don't have any, specific ideas right now. So we have to meet on that still. And then also we put together an events list of all different cultural events that we can do throughout the year. For example, Cinco de Mayo event and Juneteenth event, maybe an international food festival, and so maybe do something with Pride Month and even 4th of July. So there's a lot of events that we're doing, and we're gonna work on different venue locations as well as other different partners that we're gonna team up with, and also funding groups.
Questions? Barry?
This is what isn't just about this, but if perhaps you could create a 17A because somehow land use got left off this agenda and I could say something for about 20 seconds,
Oh, okay, sorry.
if that's acceptable.
I think you have the floor.
Just that we did have a meeting in July. It was for a small lot subdivision at Troost and Valley Spring Lane, which is by right. There's not something we as a neighborhood council can chime in on, but I give the developer credit. They didn't have to come to the neighborhood council land use committee, but they asked to, and we had a nice presentation from them. And it's, if anybody goes by there, you can see the house that's going to be torn down and where 4 units are going to go into, it's a single family now, but it's zoned multifamily. 4 units will go in there. The lot actually gets subdivided into 4, and they're not rentals. It's actually an effort to allow people to be first-time home buyers. And each of these 4 small lots on a 6,500 square foot lot, they'll own a quarter of that. And it's designed for people getting into the home ownership market on a beginner's level. So watch for that. And we have there's some others that have been built in Studio City. There's one on the southeast corner of Aqua Vista and Tujunga that's been there for several years. So we had a nice presentation.
The other comment about it is there'll each be 4 bedrooms. There'll be small bedrooms, but they're 4-bedroom homes. And they did not have to do parking, but they did.
Yeah, it'll be fun. And it's in a bunch of apartments and condos.
Okay. All right, I think that's it. Any board members want to bring up anything?
Yes. Steve, if you can hang out a minute, and I'll need Jerry and Richard, I need to get one signature from you on something. So Lucine, I need your signature on the financial packet for Cargill.
Oh.
So just hang out for a second. Okay. That's it from me.
I just want to say, the first ad hoc meeting in Riverwalk is next week. Monday. That's on the agenda, that's been posted. And it's in person here?
Yeah, it's here.
The agenda says draft.
Depending on which, it's an email from city, if they accepted it.
I just have a special shout out, to Angela, outreach has never been, performing writer and, his efforts and everything are clearly showing outreach is on a tremendous trajectory, and I really appreciate everything you're doing there. There was an MVP today,
You got it. I'll take it right now.
That's one thing. I had, as president of the board, I didn't have all those responsibilities and all that, some of you know, some of you don't know, but if I didn't have that, I would certainly.
The agenda. It was the same board.
I know.
So, and they played again, spot, and they spoke to Vincent, Vincent said they didn't even need it. So, you see, for insight is an act from there, that's why I'm doing it so early. Yeah. So I send it out today, as soon as I get it, then I. This is not till Monday.
Yeah.
So we'll have it sorted out tomorrow. They're just.
Tomorrow, I would only have to do it by Friday at that, so yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, no one's coming around before, taking pictures of, kiosks.
No, but I always try.
Yes, I know.
Try to make
But
that
person,
deadline.
there were two people who did that. One's alive still and one.
Right.
Okay, so, go into the.
That was a real, late night, like on my meeting.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll do any problem.
Yeah. At least I think it was shares among, okay. Shares.
Okay, preference, this is really tax size.
Oh, no. It looks like. It's funny, I didn't know it was there. And I asked somebody. No, it's up on the bank. And with another invasion. Which is also. That'll be probably next one.
Back down there.
Yeah.